Service Chevrolet Cadillac. Our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Among some of the late deals to get done before today's NBA trade deadline, ESPN has learned the Pistons get Dennis Schroeder in a deal with the Jazz, and the Rockets get Cody Zeller and a second-round pick in a trade with the Hawks. And Kevin Durant is still with the Phoenix Suns. ESPN's Shams Charania with more on that.
Kevin Durant has never requested a trade this season. He has not asked out of Phoenix. And honestly, I think him being in any type of a trade conversation over the last week was a surprise to him, somewhat caught him off guard from my understanding.
Shams Charania. Thunder forward Chet Holmgren will play tomorrow night against the Raptors. He's been out for almost 3 months after a right pelvic fracture. 40-year-old Lindsey Vonn skied at the World Championships in Austria today for the first time in 6 years, but hooked her right arm in a gate and did not finish her run in the Super G. 22-year-old American Lauren Makuga gets bronze in her first ever race at Worlds. 1 year from today, the Winter Olympics start in Italy.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Friday. I'll tell you what I'll need to see from Jalen Hurts and the Eagles if they want to end the Chiefs' dominance. It's on Sportsman, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical, Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Day 4 here from Media Row at Super Bowl 59. We are getting closer and closer to the big game, and everything is ramping up. Literally just a second ago, Hall of Fame running back Marcus Allen walked right in front of us, and then the guy to my immediate right was like, oh, that's my neighbor. And the guy to my immediate right is a former LSU All-American linebacker, Super Bowl champion with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just 5 years ago, would be the last for Tom Brady, and the only time that Patrick Mahomes has lost in a Super Bowl. Might that change on Sunday? It is former Tiger Kevin Minter. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
It would be impossible for anybody to miss Kevin because the ring is just blinging everywhere. Can you hold that up?
Absolutely.
Just everybody can see?
Absolutely. I had to bring it.
How often do you wear that?
This is literally my 4th time wearing it.
4th time in 5 years?
Yep. Well, yeah, 5 years. It's
been
5 years. Jesus Christ.
Well, no, you know what? No, forgive me. It's been 4 years.
4 years, okay,
because it was the 2020 season.
Yep.
4 years. 2020 season, the 2021 Super Bowl. So that was during COVID. But so basically once a year.
Yep.
What are the times you've worn it?
Another football event. I think the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
Okay.
And some branding opportunity situation I had to do. So yeah,
but I'd be terrified to wear it.
Oh, bro, this stays in the safety deposit box back in Atlanta. Yep.
You told me that you helped design it.
Yep.
Walk me through that process.
Well, the Glazers, the ownership that owns Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they wanted to do something special for the rings, so they wanted input from, some of the players. So they gathered all the captains, me, Tom, Mike Evans, Devin White, Levante David, and we all met up at Darcy's house, the sister, and she wanted to do something special for the ring. So they we all got together. Tom actually brought all of his rings as a point of reference because I don't know if y'all know, but they pretty much innovated the big, huge ring.
The Patriots.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Before that, it was pretty much the glorified clash ring.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the 2003 Tampa Bay Buccaneer ring. It was small. Because she used that. She brought that as a point of reference. She was like, we want to do something different from this. They kind of just used the NFL budget. NFL budget is like $1 million or whatever to do all the rings
for the whole team or whoever they want to give them to.
Exactly. So when the Patriots, whenever they did it, I don't know, I don't remember the exact year, but he wanted to do something a lot bigger for the ring, so he went over budget and spent it, and the Glazers. Yeah, and the Glazers, they want to do it this time. They didn't want to do like, what they initially did. They assumed, they had just bought the team like a year or so before, so they had kind of assumed they were going back, 20-something years later. Obviously, it took a while for them to get back. So they want to, they want to do what, everybody else did and just kind of go over the top. And, as soon as we got there, we pretty much had it in our minds, we're going to bling this thing out, I'm talking about diamonds on diamonds. Yeah, so it's
what's it appraised for? Do you know? Those
are usually like
50 grand, 40, 60 grand. They're usually somewhere in the neighborhood.
This might be a little bit more than that, with the diamonds we put in it. Because we put it on the side.
There's a lot of diamonds.
Yeah. We were like, well, we're not going to cheap it out. If y'all want to go over the top, we got you.
I love it, man.
So they did a great job. It's pretty much how we designed it. So
that's so cool, man. Yeah. Kevin Minter's our guest, Tiger All-American linebacker. I was literally, I was waiting to come on air 10 minutes ago. I saw him. I was like, "That's Kevin Minter." Just shouted out, Kev. Came on down. It's good of you to start the show with us, man.
Absolutely.
Hey, so you went through this week, but it was the COVID year, like we said,
right?
And you said it was totally different than this. What was that week like for y'all?
Well, none of this Radio Row stuff happened. You know how you get all the outfits and stuff like that. To appear on certain things. We got it, but it was just like this is for y'all. You're not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's the whole year was pretty calmed down. But I tell people all the time, I think it helped us, because a lot of personalities and all the, the people that were, the guys that we had on that team, it kept us focused. We had AB, Gronk, Shady, obviously Tom. I know I'm missing names. Leonard
Fournette came in, touchdown Lenny. Those are both touchdown Lenny.
But,
playoff Lenny.
The media should have been all over us the whole season, and, with it being COVID, it kept the main thing, which was football and a single focus on winning the championship. So, between the whole year and obviously, the week of the Super Bowl, it was business as usual this week. We were in the hotel, kind of sectioned off from each other and, just kind of doing our own thing.
And it was in Tampa. You were home.
Yeah.
It was like his first time ever.
And honestly, we were going home every night. We didn't even stay in a hotel until like the night before.
Wow.
Like it was like literally like a home game.
What do you, Kevin Minter's our guest. The quarterback battle there is so interesting for two reasons. Number one, it was Brady's 7th.
Correct.
And for Mahomes, it was his first loss.
Right.
So now that was only his
Yeah.
It was only his second. Now he's going to play his 5th.
Yeah.
But what was the perception defensively for you all that week about Patrick Mahomes? Because he wasn't 3-time Super Bowl champ, Patrick. 5 appearances in 7 years, Patrick Mahomes yet.
Well, honestly, you could tell on film he isn't what he is now. Like, you could tell he kind of had trouble reading defenses. They really got to 2 Super Bowls at the time of backyard football. When the play breaks down, Tyreek goes long, and Travis, you figure out somewhere in the middle. Literally, that was their game plan.
Just swirly bird in the field. 15 will find you.
And Pat had the arm to get it anywhere it needed to be. So once you realize that, once you watch enough film to understand what they did, as far as going against defenses, and their offensive line wasn't that great that year. We just let our front 4 bang, and we just played too deep the whole time, and literally, the result was the result. Their O-line was trash. It was. I don't know if y'all remember, like they had
was that before they
makeshift?
Was that before
O-line.
they drafted Creed Humphrey?
I think so. Yeah, it was. It was to their defense, they had a lot of injuries on O-line. And in most cases, the healthiest team wins.
Yeah.
They didn't have their guys, and we had ours. We had JPP. We had Sue. We had Vita came back.
Oh,
yeah. I was like, bro, they didn't have a chance in hell. It was bad, bro. But I think we had 1 blitz the whole game.
Oh, man.
It was just all of them just wreaking havoc.
So flip it over then. Like, I remember right after that game, and you all won. You were good enough to come on the show. And we talked, and you shared a story. And I got the story on Twitter. If y'all want to find it, you can find it. That Kevin talked about, like, the speech Brady gave in the pregame. But when you think back now, I mean, that was his 10th Super Bowl.
Yeah.
When you think of all the games you played over a decade, you played 10 years?
9
right?
years.
So 9 years. Or sorry, 12 was your last year at LSU.
Yep.
So 9 years in the NFL, all the games you played, but your only Super Bowl, I would imagine, there's butterflies, there's like, it's a Super Bowl. For Tom Brady, this is his 10th Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, when you look back on that, can you think of, like, watching him and it being different than it looks for everyone else for him? I don't know if I'm asking the question. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. The focus he had, just the pure focus and readiness he had throughout the whole week, honestly. It was, you could tell, like, I don't know, he just – it was borderline cockiness to it. Like, we were on an elevator down to the this was before the game, obviously. We were on the elevator to catch the buses or whatever. And he's like, I think he's snacking on something, and he just talking about, y'all ready to win the Super Bowl, boys? We was on the elevator down. I'm sweating bullets. I'm like, bro, because you don't want to be the team that lost in the Super Bowl, man. Like, I would have rather lost, like, way earlier in the playoffs, to actually, make it all the way there and to be let down like that. So I'm like, I'm kind of nervous and stuff. And I think you can see that. Yeah, and he, in everybody in the elevator, and he really broke the tension with that. It was just, I think he was like chewing on some nuts or something like that. And he was just like, hey, y'all ready to win this game, boys? We about to beat them. I can't say it online. We about to beat down these boys. And it's just like, it made us all feel, at peace, at calm. Even though there's still a little bit of nervousness in the backdrop. But, we got to the game, man. We got to, we went through warm-ups, and I told the story to you before, man. The pregame speech he had before the game, man. I mean, I can't say it verbatim, but he spoke on, being, the impact on the generations of your family, and what do you want your legacy to be, and I just, I told you this before, man. We were ready to run through a wall for that man, man. It was intense, bro. It's like everybody's eyes is red.
We cleaned it up this time.
Everybody's eyes is red. They were like, man, Tom, who point him out? Point him out. We're running through him. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I mean, you could tell throughout the tone of the whole game. It was like, they were preparing for a game, but we were ready for a fight.
Yeah.
From snap one.
What a way to put it, man.
Yeah.
Kevin Minter's with us, courtesy of Snooze Wellness and Pro Level Recovery. Tell us what you got going on with them.
Snooze. They actually brought us out here, man. It's a great company. They obviously they sell mattresses, but they do everything with sleep wellness in regards to like CBDs, cold plunges.
Oh, no kidding, really?
Yeah, they do.
So, dude, I started cold plunging about 7 months ago.
So, it's cool, right? Yeah.
Every morning of my life, I'm
Yeah.
addicted. Like, I literally can't imagine. I can't imagine waking up and not cold plunging ever again.
The way it affects the immune system, the dopamine kick. I mean, it's so many, and it's funny too because growing up, I've been doing it since I was 10. Playing football. We literally do ice baths all the time.
Yeah.
Used to fight with my coaches all the time. Like, I don't want to do it, but it's one of those. You're not leaving the locker room unless you get in this damn tub. So it's just, and it's just funny, but like just to hear all the. The health benefits now all of a sudden that's come out about it, and it's become pretty trendy. Between that and just, saunas or whatever. They do that too, red light therapy and all that stuff.
Do you know, like, is there here's the Instagram. They got a website, do you know?
Yes. It's I think it's still Snooze Mattress because they're changing to Snooze Wellness.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Right.
Snooze Mattress.
Yeah, there's the Instagram, which is Snooze Wellness. You can find it there, but Snooze Mattress is where you can find them.
Yep. They're going through a branding change, but because we're more than just mattresses, right?
No doubt. They're the Snooze Mattress Company.
Yep.
So right now it's snoozemattresscompany.com, snoozemattresscompany.com. But like Kev said, man, there's mattresses, there's bases, there's sleep accessories, different furniture, all different kinds of stuff there if you want to check it out. So and then you can get the Snooze Wellness on Instagram as well. Wrapping up here in just a quick second. The game on Sunday, you got a feeling one way or another? I mean, is Mahomes the old hat now? Is it Jaylen and the Eagles their turn? What do you think?
Kansas City's going to be a very hard team to beat, but I think Philly's O-line is special.
Okay.
And if they can play the way I think they can play, I think they'll have a hard time stopping Saquon, which, they're very good at playing complementary, football in regards to running the ball and playing stout defense. Name of the game is time of possession, and if you keep it out of 15 hands enough, and you score in the red zone, I mean, all you gotta do is have more points.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? So
keeping it out of 15's hands in a one-possession game in the fourth quarter is a challenge, though.
Absolutely, absolutely. But
that guy.
you make a couple stops on defense, and you score when you get in the red zone. I mean, there's only so much you can do, if the score is high enough in 2 minutes. So 15 is. Don't get me wrong, he's a magician now, and like I was alluding to earlier, he's a whole lot better than he was when we played him.
That's
what I mean. He's going through progressions. He's what I'm saying. He's going 1, 2, 3, 4, back to 1, 2. You know what I mean? So he's not the same guy. He's not backyard ball anymore. And it's a combination of that and intelligent ball. You could tell from start to finish. But if they can run that ball, man, Philly's gonna be hard to stop.
Yeah. Kevin Minter, All-American linebacker from LSU, man, one of the all-time greats, Super Bowl champion 4 years ago with Tampa Bay, which would be Tom Brady's 7th and final championship when they beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Hey, man, it's always great to see you.
Absolutely.
Love you, man. It's great to see you. Well, now I got a quick break. We'll continue here from Radio Row. Our percentage all week is covered by is presented by LeBairs Baton Rouge.
AFR.
Take 60 seconds to remind you about Clegg's Nursery, 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, Siega near Airline, LA16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. I tell you every day to buy local and shop local. And look, right now it's 79 degrees, which is insane to think. 2 weeks ago we had snow on the ground. So we've experienced the extremes, record lows, record highs. So you never know what you're really going to deal with. But the bottom line is it's still January. See, it's February now. It ain't even January anymore. It's February. It's February. We still got a few more cold snaps that are coming. This is the time if you're going to plant something for this planting season. Fruit trees, citrus trees, you got to get them in the ground now. So get by Clegg's Nursery. They got the best selection. They've been doing it for 60 years, the most knowledgeable staff. If you're a green thumb, they've got Johnny Naylor seeds, all the accessories. So if you need garden tools, equipment, even decor like tuned wind chimes and garden flags and doormats and all types of stuff like that, it's Clegg's Nursery. So get on by and see them at any of their 4 locations. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more. There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans. Presented by L'Auberge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
A big shout out, thanks to Kevin Minter for hanging out with us here to start the show. I know I say this often, and I am completely biased because Kevin interned with us 2000 and God, it might have been 11. Anyway, Kevin interned with AFR back in the day, and I am super biased because I love that guy. I mean, he is just a rock solid, awesome human being, but he got screwed out of the Butkus Award in 2012. Manti Te'o won it the year Manti was a Heisman finalist, and of course that was the fake dead girlfriend year and all that stuff when Notre Dame had an undefeated season. But Kevin Minter had more tackles, more TFLs, more sacks, more impact plays on a better defense. Kevin Minter was the best linebacker in college football in 2012. It wasn't particularly close, but the one stat that Manti Te'o had on Minter was interceptions. I think Manti Te'o had like 6 picks that year, so maybe 4. It was something crazy like that. But and it was Notre Dame, and there was the fake dead girlfriend story and all, and so it became a full thing. And the best linebacker in college football that year was Kevin Minter, and he should have won the Butkus Award. But in any event, Devin White came along later, got one, and for Kevin Minter, he ended up winning. Win a Super Bowl there with Tom Brady and the Bucs 4 years ago in what would be Brady's last. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. I should have mentioned as we started our show, but Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. So drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. And look, man, Super Bowl 59 parties galore this weekend. Make sure you got plenty of ice cold Bud Light, the official beer of Super Bowl 59, official beer partner of Super Bowl 59. Very candidly, I know they were giving away the tickets. Our friends over at Mockler Beverage and Bud Light. I don't know if that promotion's still going on, but it's worth going to their Instagram. There's it's a Bud Light can post that's got the QR code. You just scan the QR code to enter to win. Someone walking by with a Bud Light right there. To win tickets to the Super Bowl. So anyway, drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Man, we do have a lot to get into today. If you get over to LouisianaSports.net, there is a ton that has come out. One of the stories we talked about just a day ago was Brian Kelly's response to what Greg Brooks and Greg Sr. said on the Good Morning America interview. Minutes before I came on air, I was sent a statement from Greg Brooks Jr.'s attorney. I don't know if this was a widely distributed statement. I can tell you this was a statement that came to my inbox from Greg Brooks Jr.'s attorney. So, again, I do not know if this is widely distributed. This was just sent to me. The attorney is Jeffrey S. Rosenblum. We have the full statement up at LouisianaSports.net. It's totally free. If you want to read it, you can. This is the statement. Remember, Greg Sr. made an accusation that Brian Kelly and no one from LSU had been in touch with the Brookses since October of 2023. Brian Kelly, in his media availability, vehemently denied those allegations. Today, this statement from Greg Brooks' attorney, I'll read it for you. It was difficult for Greg Brooks Jr. to listen to LSU coach Brian Kelly say he was by his side through this ordeal and then accuse his father of making false statements when the reality is Coach Kelly has not contacted Greg Jr. in over 16 months. Neither Coach Kelly nor LSU has denied what Greg's father said during the GMA interview, that Greg has not heard from Coach Kelly since October 2023, long before the lawsuit was filed. LSU and Coach Kelly cannot deny this because it is true. Ironically, it was Coach Kelly who made factually inaccurate statements in March of 2024 when he told the media that Greg was walking, which obviously was not true. Coach Kelly would have known that. Had he simply picked up the phone and called. Greg Jr. looks forward to having his day in court, where the truth will come to light, and in the meantime, he will be focusing on his health and recovery. Again, the statement from attorney Jeffrey S. Rosenblum. This has now become trying to use my words carefully, but it has become, to me, sort of a sad game of he said, she said, and the two sides bickering publicly when, in reality, one day, but there will be a day in court, and that story will be told, and both sides will have their opportunity to tell their side, and we'll see what happens. And whatever happens there, I'm honestly not today very interested in, because there's nothing I know more than you know or that any of us know. But eventually that will come to light. Unfortunately, what I think is happening, though, is the attention is being taken off of where it should be, which is Greg Brooks Jr. getting the attention and care and therapy and services that he needs to get as healthy as he possibly can be, to live the best, highest quality of life he can for the rest of his life. And I feel like so much of this is now trying to sway the court of public opinion, which quite honestly doesn't mean a single thing at all. Like, what I think or what you think does not matter a lick. It's specifically at this point about making sure that Greg Brooks Jr. gets what he needs to recover and to heal and to be the best version of himself he can be. And I will continue to say my one opinion, because I'm not informed enough to have an opinion on the legalities, the liabilities, the negligence, all those claims. I am not in any way informed enough to have an opinion on that. When we have more information that comes forward than a court of law, maybe I'll change my tune. But there's one thing that I staunchly believe, is that LSU has the resources to give Greg Brooks what he needs, and they should do that to the fullest extent that they can and that he needs forever. And hopefully, that's a human thing, and hopefully they do the right thing. All right, it is After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Let me set the stage for kind of the rest of the day and what we have coming up. Clay Travis from Outkick is going to be here in 5 minutes from right now, scheduled to be here with us in 5 minutes from right now. Clay, he has just had a very evolving media career. Of course, he started as a sports writer. He did radio in Nashville. He started doing national radio as part of Fox. Started Outkick, as we know. That's become a giant media company. He is sort of morphed now into more like the political talk. When Rush Limbaugh died, that he and who's he with, CV? Who's the other guy? Forgive me, I don't know political talk anymore. Who is it?
Buck Sexton.
Okay, so it's
yep.
Clay Travis and Buck Sexton that they took over that slot from Rush Limbaugh when he died. So, I mean, he has gone to massive things, but he's here to talk sports and football and Outkick and media, and I want to talk to him a lot about his SEC days as well. So Clay Travis will be here in about 5 minutes from right now. Tyler Fulghum is an ESPN betting analyst. He'll be here next hour. Lee Steinberg, super agent, the basis of the movie Jerry Maguire. He'll be here in 1 hour from right now. Patrick Peterson in hour 3. Michelle Smallman from ESPN Radio here in hour 3 as well. So we got a ton to do, and glad you're hanging out with us here. We're always brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, with locations all over South Louisiana. If you need name brand tires, you want to buy them at wholesale prices, you want Shaw Bills. They started in 1968. They've continued to grow and expand across South Louisiana, and their commitment to you is to sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices and to treat you like family. It's Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. So log on to ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Ask about the Shaw Bills credit card, ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. Okay, so Clay bumped back to 3:38. Okay, no worries. All right, so we'll lag a little bit there with Clay Travis. He'll be here at 3:38. So let's go ahead and knock out. Let's go ahead and knock out this break. We'll do a quick segment. We'll finish the hour with Clay Travis. Stick around here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Hey, we're brought to you by the Watermark Hotel, the Renaissance Hotel. Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Of course, when we tell you about the Watermark, love telling you about the Watermark because it is Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. And it really is a property in Baton Rouge unlike any other. If you feel like if you've lived in Baton Rouge like I have for most of your life, or all of your life, feel like you've been everywhere in Baton Rouge and you've seen everything there is to see in Baton Rouge, not if you haven't been to the Watermark yet. The Watermark is truly Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. It is gorgeous, sprawling. It is the original high-rise building, so you can go to the top of the Watermark and you will see these just gorgeous unobstructed views of the river and downtown. And what an amazing setting to host any event. Even you're having like a private business dinner, you can reserve the old bank vaults down below the hotel that they've hollowed out and made into these gorgeous private dining rooms. One place, it's the Watermark Hotel.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime. At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at DecisionCriticalBR.com. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans. Presented by Low Bearish Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
All right, glad to have you with us here as we roll along from Radio Row, our coverage all week presented by L'Auberge Baton Rouge, and many, many thanks to them for that. One just quick note, and this does happen sometimes, like things are fluid, and sometimes you got to be flexible and move things around. So Clay is going to join us at 3:38. Clay Travis is supposed to be with us at 3:30. Instead, it'll be 3:38. So what I'll do is a quick-ish segment here and make sure we have the rest of the hour with Clay. I want to talk to him about his time, honestly, in SEC football. When he years ago used to be a columnist for SI.com, and I still maintain that was, to me, the best work I ever read or heard from him was when he was a columnist at SI covering the SEC and college football. So I would love to talk to him a little bit about that. So we'll get to that here in just a bit. One other thing worth mentioning, we are here, of course, at Media Row for the Super Bowl, and it was it's interesting because a lot of times in a game week, players have and coaches have set media availability throughout a game week, and it might be like a couple of days a week. Here it is. There's something every day. Like, for example, here on Thursday morning, Andy Reid and Travis Kelce met with reporters at 8:15 a.m. Then they went to practice, and then the Eagles came in shortly thereafter. But the point is, like, every day they're having microphones and cameras shoved in their face. And it's kind of wild because I was asking someone here with the host committee, there are 7,000 credentialed media members internationally for this game. 7,000. For context, like, I would think, like, for a, let's say like an LSU game or a Saints game, you probably have, when you're talking as far as the written media, like the print media, the press box, the field, depending on the size of the game, you could end up with several hundred credentialed media for an event like that. I mean, so 7,000 is insane. Now, they're not all here in this place in one moment, but it's still a giant number. So there is always availability, and then a lot of times guys end up getting asked and answering the same question. But Ross Jackson, who's doing an awesome job for us over at LouisianaSports.net, he's kind of had this, unfortunately for him, he's had this like one singular lead, which is, hey, man, do everything Kellen Moore. Because Ross is our Saints guy, and the next coach of the Saints likely is Kellen Moore, and he's coaching in this game. And so basically Kellen Moore's availability every day, and it'd be like a 40-minute block, and Ross is just sitting there just staring at him right in the face for 40 minutes, like every single day, and trying to, like, what different angle can you approach now? But one interesting thing that Kellen Moore said today, and Ross wrote about this, it's up at LouisianaSports.net. Again, everything at LouisianaSports.net is always free. No paywalls, no subscriptions, no freemium, none of that. So it's always everything free. Kellen was asked about his brother Kirby Moore, who is the offensive coordinator at Mizzou in the SEC. So he talked about his brother, praised him for turning the team around a little bit this year, and this quote from Kellen Moore today to Ross Jackson said about his brother Kirby, quote, "He's done an awesome job. I mean, they've had double-digit wins the last 2 years to turn that thing around, played a really high level on offense. I know he's going to have a lot of really good opportunities very, very shortly for himself." The very shortly for himself, probably a smidge tongue-in-cheek leading a bit there to suggest that if, in fact, Kellen Moore does become the Saints head coach, he will probably bringing his brother Kirby Moore with him to New Orleans. Kirby Moore has been the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for Mizzou the last 2 years. He's been a coach for a decade. He had Brady Cook the last 2 years at Mizzou. Of course, the offensive coordinator when Cody Strader was there last year, which led the SEC 2 seasons ago. Luther Burden III the past couple of years, who's maybe a projected first-round pick. So really interesting comments there, and something to file away that, look, we know they can't officially name the hire yet, which is understandable. It can't be till after the Super Bowl. But when unofficially you know something is going to happen before it can be announced, Kellen Moore can even start putting together informally his staff and having those conversations. Now, that would certainly be a distraction from this week where we're talking about him getting ready for the Super Bowl. However, that's also something that he will have to do. And if it's his brother, it's a very obvious conversation. But something worth filing away and looking up that maybe should Kellen Moore do what we all anticipate, and that's accept the Saints head coaching job, that his brother, Kirby Moore, the offensive coordinator at Missouri, could very well be headed to New Orleans as well. And that, if it does happen, would open up a spot on Missouri staff, and so that coaching carousel would start to spin yet again. So something worth filing away and keeping an eye on. Hey, we're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. If you have ever thought of ditching those contacts and glasses forever, the Williamson Eye Center can help. Call 924-2020, 924-2020, or go to WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com for the Williamson Eye Center. Just start with that consultation. You'll meet with Kyle. She handles all the consultations. This is not a sales pitch. It is just an information gathering. There's no pressure. There's no sales. This is just an information gathering session where you can get information to see what may be a best option for you, and then you can make that decision moving forward. It's the Williamson Eye Center. Okay, it's after further at the Williamson Ice Center, 924-2020. It's AFR. We're here on Media Row from Super Bowl 59. We're not got a quick break. Clay Travis of Outkick joins us. When we return, it's AFR.
AFR.
I want to take 60 seconds to remind you about Action Industries, actionindinc.com. You're good. Come sit, man. You're good. actionindinc.com for Action Industries Incorporated. Hey, listen, we've told you about Action Industries for more than a year now. Great local company that's been around since 1982, 43 years, man. Awesome place. If you do work inside the fence, Action Industries, if you need work inside the fence, Action Industries, exemplary safety record, and, of course, they do great work. It's why they've been able to last for as long as they have. It's Action Industries. So check them out. You got a turnaround coming up. They got their very own turnaround division as well, with separate resources specifically for that in the Advanced Turnaround Group. It's Action Industries. actionindinc.com. That's where you can find them online if you want to learn more about everything they do, from exchanger tube cleaning, fabrication shop. It's Action Industries. They're the best. Check them out. Action Industries, a proud partner of LSU Athletics.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages, and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans. Presented by L'Auberge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
Clay Travis joins us from Media Row here. Our coverage all week presented by L'Auberge Baton Rouge. How are you, man?
I'm fantastic. Love New Orleans. Last time I was here in this same room was a decade ago, and I was doing local sports talk radio in Nashville. And now, like where we're sitting, you can see off in the a bit distance here the monster stage that Outkick has. So Outkick was 3 years old. That was the Super Bowl where the power went out.
Yeah.
The Ravens end up getting the win over the 49ers, if I remember correctly.
You do.
It's Colin Kaepernick's Super Bowl. And the big story was Ray Lewis deer antler spray. And I remember all of that.
About the
Deer antler spray. Like, that was the huge story. And that was a decade ago. So, I enjoy walking through and kind of seeing all this. But it's kind of an interesting idea of the growth. You know, if you told me 10 years ago, hey, Outkick will have one of the biggest stages, you know, you're talking about a guy who ran the whole company from a laptop. I would have said, well, that sounds pretty amazing, but I'm not sure that I buy into that. But, we got 17 people here, and it is, I think, fabulous in all respects. So I've got no complaints, right? Like, I've got 3 happy, healthy boys. I got a wife who tolerates me, and I feel like I've got the best jobs in America.
That's awesome, man. What point of scale do you have to reach to get a stage?
It's a great question. I remember the first Super Bowl that I ever went to was the Indianapolis Super Bowl, and I was sitting like you are right now at a folding table, and I thought it was so badass just to be there. And it is.
I was going to say,
you have to pinch yourself and be like,
Yeah.
hey, my job is to go talk about the Super Bowl for a week. So I try to remember that and not let that ever get old. And sort of like, it's like a kid waking up on Christmas every day. But I remember Jim Rome had an unbelievable stage. At like the 2009 Indianapolis, may have been 2000. I don't remember the exact year. I think it was 2009 Indianapolis Super Bowl. And I just remember looking at that stage and thinking, my goodness. We had one for Fox Sports Radio. I used to do Outkick the Coverage morning radio show with Fox Sports Radio. And I was instrumental in getting them to build a stage. And I'm looking around right now, and I'm like, I haven't gotten to see the Fox Sports Radio stage
It's way
yet.
down there.
Okay, I'm going to go walk by it here in a little bit. But they built that because I think what it signifies is that you matter, like on a big scale.
Sure.
Because it's not cheap to do. And so this is the first year that Outkick has ever done it, and I give them credit because when I walked up, I was like, okay, Outkick is now.
Oh, this is your first year doing a stage at the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we've had
no
them.
doubt. No, but to have,
I was
to have
like,
that,
this,
yeah.
like we're big enough now.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, we have to show people that we really matter. And so I don't know that there's like a, something that would kind of illustrate this, but I look and like Bleacher Report's got one, Sirius XM's got one, CBS, ESPN.
McAfee's right there.
Yep. You got Fox Sports Radio, Outkick. I mean, I think we're, my argument would be we're certainly one of the 7 or 8 sports companies in the country that matter on a substantial level day to day. And, heck, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the guys and the work that they do.
You should be. One of the things, there's no way you'll remember this, but I know I asked you this at SEC Media Days probably 10 years ago. But this had to be 15 or 20 years ago when you were writing maybe for SI?
I did write a story for SI. I wrote for CBS Sports.
CBS Sports,
and
okay.
Deadspin before, and Fan House, all before I founded Outkick in 11.
You wrote a column. It was an ode to Jefferson Pilot.
Oh,
Sports.
yeah.
Do you remember it?
I do remember that column.
Bro, I'll tell you honestly, I was so afraid. I laughed just guttural laugh reading that. For everyone who's ever watched Jefferson Pilot Sports and the atrocity that it was, the beautiful atrocity that it was, that we all appreciated so much, I actually copied the text and saved it into a Word document, and so that the internet never lost it. If they ever did so,
I appreciate that.
would have
it. So much of that stuff it's in Dixieland Delight, my first book, so it is preserved in print. But I started writing online in 2004. There was no social media.
Yeah.
There was no your way that you found something that you liked. There was no texting. Was somebody would email you. Like old school, for people who remember, it'd be like, hey, you're sitting in the office and your email, pops in and it's a link to an article. And that's how people found me when so I'm 45 now. I started writing online in 2004, and I don't know, that article probably came out in 2006.
It was around there.
Yeah, I mean, a long time ago.
4, 5, 6, yeah.
And, it's funny, I spend most of my time doing radio and TV now, or video, digital video, however you want to classify it. But my favorite thing in the world still to do in media is just sit down in front of a blank screen and write a column.
Interesting.
Doesn't pay
Why?
anywhere near as much. I think because it's entirely my own creation, and I'm responsible for it all. And unlike when we're talking live on the air, I might screw up talking live on the air. I don't screw up a sentence, right? It may not land perfect. Sure. And by the way, when I say screw up, I misspell words, like I have poor, grammar. I just mean I own it, and I have the ability to go back, frame it, think about it, reconsider it, argue it at a different direction, and you have the ability. The article can last and live for a long time. Whereas what we do, people might be I hope they are enjoying this interview right now. 24 hours from now, no one will ever listen to this for the rest of our lives.
We got 2 minutes to make sure someone does something memorable here to make sure they do.
But I just mean we're like it's
No, I
like
know what you
being
mean.
a cook.
Yes,
right?
I know what you mean.
As opposed to like when I write a book, the idea is Dixieland Delight. I still hear from people. It's or like you with the JP pot. Like I've done a ton of things on the radio. Most times people don't talk about what I did on the radio. They're like, I read a story that you did 15 years ago. Yeah. It's like it lingers and lives in a way that live, for better or worse, video, television, radio doesn't. Does that make sense?
Of course it does. I mean, I understand that every day of my life. People will come up with smaller scale, of course, and say, "Do you remember when you did?" And I'm like, "No, I have no idea."
Yeah.
I do tens of thousands of hours of radio. I don't know what I talked about last segment. I mean, of course I don't. So yes, I do.
And by the way, that's great. The reason people want to be with us live is because they want that experience in real time. But it used to frustrate me because I'd be like, man, that was a great segment we just did. Other than like Howard Stern and maybe Rush Limbaugh, who I took over for, there's almost no archival radio that matters anywhere in the history of radio.
It's true. The internet is changing it a smidge with social media because we can clip things and put it there. But we got 2 minutes left with Clay Travis.
I'll finish your segment here. Yes.
Time very much appreciated. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's a busy guy, and we're glad to have him for a couple of minutes. Do you enjoy? You've got the Clay and Buck show. You've got Outkick. I mean, you did local radio in Nashville. You just mentioned you love doing columns. But if I asked you, like, you had a pick, like, you can only do one thing forever. Like, would you go back and cover the SEC? Would you do news and current events? Like, what would you do? Like, what's the thing that, like, when you actually think, like, in your gut that gets you the most?
Well, so it's a great question. I have 3 boys, and now that I'm in middle age, I think way more about the world that we're leaving for them. So doing as much as I could to get Trump elected, to me, is far more consequential than who wins a football game.
Yeah.
You know, like I love the University of Tennessee. I was watching last night at dinner their game against Missouri. I love SEC sports, SEC college football more than anything, right?
Yeah.
But who wins the SEC, as much as I can enjoy it and love it, and look, I donate a lot of money to help get Tennessee better players now because I'm fortunate to have resources. So I spend that money.
How much?
A lot.
How much?
Here's
the moment, Clay. This is it.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
All right.
I have paid for players.
Sick.
But
through Outkick?
No, just my personal money.
Okay. Because that's a fascinating model, isn't it? I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, but so I love it, and I want us to win. And I love everything about college football. So if you ask me, here's a way I would put it. If you said, people talk about like what their final meal would be. Mm-hmm. If you told me, Clay, you only have one day to live, I would be like, I want to take my boys and I want to go spend the day at a college football game.
Cool.
Like that would be my favorite way to go out, and then just be like, hey, bye. If you told me what I feel incredibly fortunate and grateful for every single day is when I sold Outkick, I got more money. Fox bought it 3 years ago, 3 years ago, than I could ever spend for the rest of my life. And the next and in fact, when we signed the papers, I turned to my wife and I was like, we just paid, she's going to live to be 110. I'll probably die in 2 years. But I was like, every kid, great-grandkid, everybody else, we just paid for their college, their grad school, whatever they want to do for the rest of their life, that you will know they're taken care of, right?
Yeah.
It's an incredible feeling. But for me personally, the best feeling was the next day I woke up and I wanted to keep doing what I was already doing. And everybody out there at some point in time, God knows I've thought about it a lot over the years, thinks, hey, what would I do if I won the lottery? That's the whole reason the lottery exists, right? Because people go out and they buy a $5 lottery ticket and they're like, I'm going to get $50 million. I'm going to get $500 million, whatever it is. I feel like I won the lottery. And most people say, I'd never work again. I would call my boss immediately. I feel like I won the lottery, and the next day I woke up and I wanted to keep doing what I was already doing.
Yeah, I love
and
that.
That's a unique feeling, and it's kind of a sign that maybe you've ended up in the right place in your life.
I got literally 57 seconds. What if the one game with your boys was 2001 LSU Tennessee SEC championship game?
That one was tough. 2007 was also brutal.
That couldn't have been as brutal, man.
You're going to make me curse. Matt Mock.
Tennessee wasn't. Well, that was 01.
I know. I was going to say in 01. I wish I could go back in time. And, people talk about killing baby Hitler. I wish I could kill baby Mock.
Oh, no. Why would you say that?
Tennessee would have gotten to play for the national championship.
Yes, that's why I'm saying 07. Tennessee wasn't going anywhere.
But it still hurt. We haven't won a national an SEC championship since '98. No. That was Rohan Davey.
I got 6 seconds on
Got knocked out of that game.
Oh, yeah.
And then Matt Mock, Tennessee couldn't cover a freaking quarterback sneak, and I've never recovered from that game.
Clay Travis,
thanks for bringing it up.
AFR.
That's after further review. All right, we're wrapping up hour number 1. What a way to put a button on it. We got the viral clip from Clay Travis. He said he wanted Matt Mock to die. That's what happened, right? Wait, put him up.
I hope he's a fan of Outkick, but I hate that bastard.
That's so good. You see, we did it, Clay. We did it. Wasn't he supposed to be a dentist? Just leave him up. Leave him up. Yeah.
Wasn't he supposed to be a dentist? He should have been in dental school.
He is a dentist.
Is
now.
he really?
He's a dentist in Colorado. He's like the Broncos team dentist. How about that?
I wish he had decided he didn't want to play football a long time ago. He should have given it up.
He did. He went and played baseball, and then Nick Saban brought him back.
You remember that? I mean, legitimately,
Matt's
it was
a great
like
guy.
Tennessee had. I've heard that he's actually a big Outkick fan, but I wish he was dead. No offense.
Why would you can't just drop a no offense, and it's like that's like out of Ricky Bobby, and this was a live read. This was the live read 60 seconds. It doesn't matter. No, go ahead.
I'll never recover for that game. Thanks for bringing it up.
Clay Travis, hour 2 next.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. We're on the other side of the NBA trade deadline. Among the last deals to get done, according to ESPN's Shams Charania, the Raptors get James Wiseman and cash from the Pacers. The Clippers send Kevin Porter Jr. to the Bucks. The Cavaliers get DeAndre Hunter in a deal with the Hawks. Atlanta gets Karis LeVert, George Niang, 3 second-round picks, and 2 pick swaps. Earlier in the day, the Lakers made a trade with the Hornets to get a center. Details from Shams Charania.
Mark Williams is an athletic 7'2" rising big man. He really fits the profile of the type of player that we've seen Luka Doncic thrive with, the Derek Lively's of the world. And I think they are really excited in Los Angeles about that fit.
Shams Charania. Panthers wideout Adam Thielen says he'll be back for a 12th NFL season. He had thought about retiring. Bears owner Virginia Hallis McCaskey died today, the daughter of Hall of Fame team founder George Hallis. She was the longest tenured owner of any U.S.-based pro sports franchise. She was 102 years old.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Cannon, coming up Friday. I'll tell you what I'll need to see from Jalen Hurts and the Eagles if they want to end the Chiefs' dominance. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. We're live from Media Row, Super Bowl 59, Day 4. It's been a long week, man. We get to Day 4. I think we learned the lesson, man. Show up on Day 3. Show up on Wednesday. It's probably the path forward. Tyler Fulghum, ESPN Bet Live, good enough to join us on site here. How are you, dude?
I'm doing good. This is my first day. I just got here today, so I don't have the fatigue yet. I was telling my handler Jeff here that you're bringing the lefty in out of the bullpen. That's what talent says. That's what talent says. Bringing the lefty in out of the bullpen. He's fresh.
Hey, did you know you were his handler? That's what you are. I'm just making sure he sits in the chair when he's supposed to sit in the chair.
It's actually my boss today. He's telling me where to go and what to do.
He's kind of everybody's boss.
He's my boss
here
today.
Hey, this is for the betting community. Is the Super Bowl for betting?
Yeah, it's the biggest. That March Madness. Kentucky Derby, a big fight. Those are always significant. But the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl. It's the only thing going on. You get dozens, hundreds, thousands of markets you can bet on in the Super Bowl.
Is there actual value anywhere?
Yeah, it takes it's hard to find, I'll say that. But football in general, the NFL is the sharpest markets. That's what most sports books are concerned with because most of their consumers are gambling on that. It's not like some markets that might be softer, like WNBA or college women's college basketball, something like that. So it's definitely difficult to find the value, but there's so many things that you can bet on that there's certainly something that one book somewhere is mispricing in some way.
Where is the value in this game? What do you like?
Yeah, so
listen, I know it's changed since lines first started, but yeah, go ahead.
Most mathematical modelers, most people who are like do this for a living will say the value's on the Philadelphia side. And some people think by the time we get to kickoff on Sunday, this game might be a pick'em. This game might be Philadelphia favored by a point. And I tend to agree with the logic and the numbers behind that. I think Philadelphia has the better roster. They have more S-tier elite talent at more levels. There's just one big thing on the other side, and that's a guy who's proven. That's a guy in Patrick Mahomes who's played 8 playoff games in his career where the spread has been under a field goal, one way or the other. It doesn't matter if his Chiefs are the underdog or a favorite, but it's a tight game that's expected to be close because it's 2.5 points or less the spread. He's won all 8 of them.
Wait, say that again. Say that again.
8 games in his playoff career where the spread is less than a field goal. And in the NFL, if a game the spread is less than a field goal, the market's telling you it's pretty close to a coin flip. Like one way or the other, wouldn't be surprised. And in coin flip games, Patrick Mahomes wins them all because he's going to have the ball at the end of the game. He's going to make that play.
ATS or straight up or both?
Straight up and ATS. He's won them all and covered them all.
Wow, that's the kind of thing where you go, all right, I'm playing a streak. Like, that's a very
obvious a nice trend. It's a comfortable trend to hold on to and feel good about.
I mean, if you remove the betting analyst side of it and you just look at the football, I mean, isn't that the way you look at it, though? You go, like, of course, it's like Brady. Like, I would ever bet against Brady in the Super Bowl. I mean, he lost 3 of them, but won 7.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you were better off betting on Brady than the opposition. And I think Patrick Mahomes has earned that equity. He should. He has with me, at least. Again, I think the Eagles are the better team. And I would not be shocked at all if Philadelphia wins this game. Like, they have awesome talent across the board, but I'm going to feel like a real idiot if I bet on the Eagles and then I'm sitting there watching this game in the fourth quarter. Patrick Mahomes has the ball with 2 minutes left and engineers a game-winning drive. If I bet on Mahomes and Saquon Barkley runs for 200 yards or A.J. Brown has a big game and, they have a late, score to win the game, I won't feel that bad. I'll tip my cap to the Eagles. Well done. You knocked off the champ. But with my money, I'm going to invest on the proven commodity.
Yeah, that makes sense. Tyler Fulghum is with us, ESPN Bet Live. By the way, the ESPN Bet's doing the $1 million big game giveaway. That sounds fun. Can I win $1 million?
You can. If you got ESPN Bet in your state, you can opt in. Bettors can place a $25 wager on Super Bowl 59. They'll have a chance to win a share of $250,000 cash or a share of $750,000 in bonus bets. The drawing to see who wins that is going to take place on ESPN Sunday NFL Countdown Super Bowl Sunday. So make sure you're watching that. And if you're in a state where ESPN Bet is live, see if you can get your hands on $1 million.
And we are terrestrial, obviously, in Louisiana. We are certainly in a place where you can bet, so get in on it. Y'all download ESPN Bet. Again, the ESPN $1 million big game giveaway. Y'all get in on it. Do you ever do, you know what I'm going to say, the props? You ever do this?
Oh, yeah. I love props. I'm mostly.
Stupid props.
Oh, you mean like
Anthem,
Gatorade,
color.
Coin toss? Nah, that's not my cup of tea.
Because the thing that is, there's times where you can get info.
Oh, yeah. Like those, absolutely. Like if I'm down here, I'm in New Orleans, I could maybe see if I can use my credential to get in and see the rehearsals for, the national anthem and get some inside information. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Let me just be abundantly clear and talk to the lawyers. I'm not doing that. I won't be betting on it. But yeah, you could on the Gatorade if you know someone who works for the team and know what they're going to put in that. The Chiefs have won back-to-back Super Bowls with purple Gatorade as the drink they dumped on Patrick Mahomes. I have to imagine they're pretty superstitious in that locker room. It's worked 2 times before. I imagine they're going to have purple Gatorade for this game. I'm not saying I know anything, but it's just I imagine they're not going to. That's why purple at ESPN Bet is the favorite to be the color of the drink dumped on the winning head coach.
You see, that's when you're that plugged in to the betting side of any type of sport. You're paying attention to trends with the color of Gatorade. Okay, on-field props. Give me some value.
Yeah, some that I like. One, Saquon Barkley, his longest rush to be over 25.5 yards. And that one's got to feel good. We've seen Saquon break off 60, 70-yard runs. I know the Chiefs have a really good run defense. Steve Spagnuolo's going to try and bottle up Saquon, but it only takes that one run. I'd rather bet on him having one explosive run than him racking up the 125 yards he's going to need to go over his rushing prop. That number is so high because the books know everyone wants to bet on that, so there's a tax you're paying on that. However, the one run, you're not paying a tax on that from Saquon there. So that's one I love. Consequently, on the other side, it's like the flip side of the coin with Patrick Mahomes. he has been very comfortable dinking and dunking his way down the field this year. They just not as explosive as years past. They don't have Tyreek Hill anymore, obviously. So his longest completion under 35.5 yards. Okay. That's one I like. Also a specialty of the Eagles defense. They are the best in the NFL at limiting explosive plays. That is a staple of Vic Fangio defenses. So I think Mahomes will be happy to dink and dunk his way on long drives for that offense, which could also play into over attempts, over completions as well. But those two big names, those are a couple of my favorite. I also think rely on Mahomes to use his legs in the Super Bowl. We see that in high leverage games. He's going to run the football. And if they're winning and he's kneeling down at the end of the game, kneel downs count as rush attempts.
Oh, so attempts. You're going over on attempts?
Attempts, yeah. I think it's 5.5, 6.5 in the market. But rushing attempts, I think he will use his legs on those critical key downs, 3rd and short, 4th and short.
Wait. So kneel downs aren't team rushes?
No, it is a rushing attempt for the quarterback when you kneel down.
But it's a team loss of yardage.
A team loss of yards for your total, but the quarterback is also going to get.
Gets the run.
So that's something else.
Because in college football, it's stupid. It's like sacks go against.
It's funny you brought that up because the last time the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, yes, the sacks count as team lost yards. But the last time the Chiefs won the Super Bowl against the Eagles, Mahomes was kneeling down at the end of the game, and it took away rushing yards that had put him over his rushing prop. Because he didn't just kneel down. He was stalling some time, so he ran backwards a few yards and then knelt down. So he was like, maybe it was the first one against his 49ers. It was one of his wins. I think it was the first one, but he literally was over his rushing prop. It was like 24.5 yards. He had like 29 at the end of the game, and then the kneel downs brought him down to like 19. And that was a loss for the people who had the over and a win for the people who had the under.
Oh, God, can you imagine?
Yeah, it's bad beat.
Can you imagine holding that ticket?
SVP had that on Bad Beats.
I bet he did, dude. Put it right there with the Bad Beats, man. Get Stanford Steve in the line with the fishnet hat on right there. Hey, where's home? What's your background?
I'm from the Midwest, born and raised in St. Louis, so I am still a Rams fan, despite Stan Kroenke. Yeah.
We had Michelle Smallman.
She despises the Rams, and I get it. Most of my friends and family from St. Louis despise the Rams and will not cheer for them. I completely understand the logic. However, let me present the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
St. Louis benefited from Stan Kroenke's greed the first time. He helped move the Rams out of L.A. to St. Louis so I could watch the greatest show on turf. So we're feeling jilted. L.A. was jilted the first time around, and I was never rooting for – it was Georgia Frontiere back then as the primary owner in the Frontiere family, and Stan Kroenke as the owners. I was rooting for Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Marshall Faulk, Orlando Pace. And then even on the bad years, I was rooting for the Keith Knowles, the Denario Alexanders, the Pisatino Isamoas. When this team was going 2-14, 1-15, I was still had season tickets to go to their games when the dome was half full. Yeah, so I stuck with it.
Robinson,
exactly. Now, we also drafted Aaron Donald as well in that draft, so we did all right. But yeah, dude, I saw some real bad football in St. Louis, and I'm not going to jump ship.
Greg Robinson shout out from the Bayou region, man, south of here, dude.
I thought he was going to be such a stud, man.
He went to Auburn, and he exploded there, man.
I thought he was going to be such a stud. Like, this dude was a freak athlete playing left tackle. Like, how does this not work? But, yeah.
Oh, my God. Tyler Fulghum, ESPN Bet Live. Y'all get him on Twitter. It's at Tyler_Fulghum,
Tyler_Fulghum, Fulghum.
Y'all get him there, ESPN Bet. Great content as well. Make sure you pay attention. Make sure you get involved in the $1 million big game giveaway from ESPN Bet. Todd, it's a pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you can watch our show, ESPN Bet Live, Friday, 6 p.m. on ESPN2 and 11 a.m. on Sunday morning, ESPN. That's Eastern time.
Okay, I was about to say.
That's Eastern. We're Central here, and I'm from St. Louis, so that's Central. Yeah. So 11, 10 a.m. Sunday, 5 p.m. tomorrow, ESPN2.
There it is. Pleasure. Tyler Fulghum, we appreciate it, man. Well, now I got a quick break. Lee Steinberg at the bottom of this hour. Still a ton to do. Don't you move. It's AFR.
After further review.
Quick reminder about our friends over at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, ED treatments, hormone replacement therapy. If you want to feel like your younger self, Goodwood can make it happen. A simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for HRT. And this is one of the things that I love to stress to people. When they ask about it, they think there's a stigma. Why would I do that? My question is, why wouldn't you do that? I mean, think about this logically. Every single human being, as we age, our bodies, there's no exception. Every human that has ever lived, as we age, our bodies produce less of the hormones that contribute to how we feel. So if we have a way to safely and affordably supplement to get you to healthy levels again, to get you feeling and performing in every aspect of your life at your best, why wouldn't you do that? It's worth a simple blood test to see if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. Not just testosterone, there's some more. There's so many different options. Learn more at yourgoodwood.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you, our mobile banking.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at DecisionCriticalBR.com. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans. Presented by L'Auberge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
Thanks again to Tyler Fulghum for joining us. Big shout out to our friends over at Decision Critical, Blasia and the whole team over there. It's so awesome. They don't just say, it's not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. In-home nursing, come be with you in the hospital and post-op or whatever the case may be. You're bringing a baby home, maybe it's end-of-life care. They do an amazing job. I've shared with you many times, my family's relationship with Blasia. She was a CV nurse when we brought Drew home. And she's a part of our family. And so when I had the opportunity to go to bat for Decision Critical, easiest decision I could make, DecisionCriticalBR.com, to schedule that exploratory conversation with how they might be able to help. DecisionCriticalBR.com, DecisionCriticalBR.com is the website. Man, good show already out the chute. Kevin Minter was here. Clay Travis was here. Great conversation with Clay. Tyler Fulghum, you just heard from ESPN Bet. Lee Steinberg, super agent Lee Steinberg, in 12 minutes. That's fat. He's a fascinating guy. He has done over $3 billion in contracts during his career. Everyone, Troy Aikman, John Elway, Patrick Mahomes. He's had some 50 first-round picks, I think 8 number 1 overall picks. Just a fascinating figure in the history of sports, and we'll have a chance to sit down with him here in about 10, 12 minutes. So looking forward to that very, very much. There's a couple of things. While I have a moment here, I could check this, like a moment to come up for air and breathe for a second. I could check this off. The New Orleans Pelicans traded Brandon Ingram last night. I understand overwhelmingly that New Orleans Pelicans' interest is at an all-time low, and that's a mouthful for a franchise that has had sparse success during its time in New Orleans over the last 20-plus years. But this needed to happen. You had to move on. It's further illustration of how poorly this front office has been run. The fact that all offseason we all talked about, it was such a common error. I just don't say we, not just you and me. I mean the entirety of the NBA world, even people who cover the league nationally, people in front offices, like everyone knew this had to be done. Like the Pelicans were going to have to trade Brandon Ingram. And they didn't get that deal done before the season. And now you've gone through a year where Brandon Ingram has played in just 18 games all year, and you ended up getting a bag of potato chips and a Coke for him. I mean, you got Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk's. You got Bruce Brown's 28 on his 6th NBA team. Kelly Olynyk's 33. He's on his 7th NBA team. You got 2 journeyman vets who aren't going to make you any better at all this year. And you got a 1 and a 2. And NBA draft picks, if you're picking outside the lottery, even sometimes if you're in the lottery, I mean, are about worth the same as this pen. And this pen's got a Paris Construction and Roofing logo on it, so that's even more valuable. The point is, like, you gave away Brandon Ingram for pennies on the dollar because you mismanaged the situation of moving him in the offseason. And so now we're going to look back, and this has been a snake-bitten team with the injuries, and sometimes you're very unlucky. Like, I don't know that DeJounte Murray rupturing his Achilles is a reflection of anything that the New Orleans Pelicans or their staff did or didn't do. Zion Williamson having soft tissue issues all the time, that is definitely a reflection of his inability to take care of himself, to stay in shape, all of that sort of stuff. That is a reflection of the team. And you've had some bad luck. DeJounte Murray breaking his hand early in the season, all that stuff. So there's been some of both sides of the coin. But when you think back about how excited we were to pair Zion, B.I., DeJounte Murray, and to think this was finally the iteration of this team that could make a move. I mean, they won 47 games a year ago. You trade for DeJounte, and you're like, okay, here they go. And for it to have gone this way where that big three did not play a single game together, it is somewhat stunning at how grossly mismanaged and poor this franchise has been really throughout all of their existence. And this feels like about as low a moment as you could possibly imagine. You know, B.I., when you traded for him in 2019, he was the cornerstone of the Anthony Davis trade with the Lakers. He was the centerpiece around which you were going to build the next era of the Pelicans franchise. He never plays more than 64 games in a New Orleans uniform. It is just so massively disappointing. You traded for him in 19 and 20. He was an all-star. He was the NBA's most improved player, averaged 23 a game. And there was reason to believe with B.I. and with Zion that arrow was going to point up, and we were going to get to see this franchise take flight, if you'll forgive the Pelicans pun. And instead, the exact opposite has happened. Plagued by injuries with both B.I. and Zion, mismanaging this trade, DeJounte Murray's injury. I just don't know that I have anything to say positive. I wish I did. I wish the team was good. I wish I had reason to tell you to pay attention to them and that they deserved your time. They just don't. They are a poorly managed organization. They have always been a poorly managed organization. They have, even with the good fortune, like the literal luck that they have gotten in winning the lottery twice and drafting what were supposed to be generational players in Anthony Davis and then Zion Williamson, and netting one series win out of all of that. It's just, I have nothing else. I have nothing else. So I'm not surprised they needed to move B.I. in the same way that the Saints, amid their 7-game losing streak, needed to trade Marshawn Lattimore. That looks like a very smart move, obviously, as Lattimore really struggled with Washington, and the Saints, got a 3. So you got to pick for a player that wasn't going to help you be any better and didn't help Washington be any better down the stretch. Maybe something will come of this. Maybe the Pelicans, who the first-round pick they got from Toronto was actually the Pacers pick. So we'll see what that pick materializes into in the draft. But you get a pick, and you get a 1 and a 2. See what you make of it. Maybe you package picks to move up to get a player that can make you better. I don't know how they're going to do it. But if you ask me, do I have any confidence in their ability to get this right? I do not, because there is nothing that they have shown me over their entire time in New Orleans that would suggest to me that this organization knows what they are doing and that they will get this right. I could be hopeful. Maybe they can turn this thing around somehow. But if we're just looking at the evidence presented over 2 decades, there's no reason for me to believe that this is going to go well for New Orleans. But the Pelicans trade BI. They get Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, and a couple of picks. And they'll play out the string. Presently have the worst record in the Western Conference. We've seen it twice before. And it's a year where you have a generational player, a no-doubt slam-dunk number 1 pick in Cooper Flagg, who will be someone's for the taking. And maybe the Pelicans can strike gold again, win the lottery, get Cooper Flagg, and maybe try to rebuild around some combination of Cooper Flagg, DeJounte Murray, Zion Williamson, or how it may go. But to think optimistically about any of this would just be foolhardy. So there's your downer for the moment. But we got plenty of great stuff still coming, man. Had a chance to visit earlier today with Patrick Peterson. It was a great chat because as we were having the convo, T-Bob walked by. And T-Bob and Pat Pete, of course, played together at LSU for a couple of seasons. They overlapped. And so actually for 3 seasons. T-Bob and Pat Pete were on the same team for Peterson's 3 years in Baton Rouge. And so T-Bob was walking by. I told him sit down and grab a headset. So the 3 of us chatted. We'll get to that at the top of hour number 3. Michelle Smallman from ESPN's Unsportsmanlike. ESPN Radio's Unsportsmanlike was here. We'll have that conversation as well. Very much looking forward to it. We're going to knock out a quick break coming up. Lee Steinberg, super agent, is going to be – what a fascinating guy Lee Steinberg is just in the history of sports. I'm excited about that conversation. Hey, let me remind you about Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Hey, y'all, at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, remember, they're always going to get you a beautiful, natural diamond. When you go into Lee Michaels and you look in the case, you are never going to see a man-made or a lab diamond. It's not a science experiment. Scott goes on these diamond buying trips around the world where he goes to the finest diamond mines in the world to find the best quality diamonds at the best prices. And because he's buying for 9 stores, he's going to get great pricing as well. Lee Michaels perfectly marries the personalization of a boutique jeweler, but the selection and the pricing of a large scale jeweler because they have so much inventory. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Okay, y'all, it is After Further Review here from Media Row at Super Bowl 59. Our coverage all week presented by Low Bears. It's been a really busy day, man, just as you just sit and look at all the dignitaries and all the celebrities that have been around today. Joe Burrow was here. Jaden Daniels was here. Malik Neighbors was here. That's just the LSU guys. We opened the show today with Kevin Minter. We got Patrick Peterson coming up as well. I mean, just that flavor alone has been awesome to see. Spencer Rattler, the Saints quarterback, was walking Media Row earlier today. Bryce Underwood was here as well. Don't forgive me. Bryce Underwood. God, I need to purge that name out of my brain forever. Bryce Young, the former number 1 pick, now the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young was here today. Bryce Underwood was nowhere near here today. All right, let me just take a break. I'll save myself from myself. And we'll talk to Lee Steinberg next. It's
After Further Review.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, y'all, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com for River City's 1 Hour Air. Hey, y'all, if you got snow on the ground, you got an issue with your heater, you call River City's 1 Hour Air. If 2 weeks after there's snow on the ground, you wake up and it's 81 degrees in Baton Rouge and you got issues with your AC, you call River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Remember, at River City's 1 Hour Air, you look for the big, yellow vans and trucks with a giant clock on the side. You'll see them all over town. It's funny how so often things that might just be blended as background shoot to the forefront and become a focal point. But when you start thinking about it, but you'll start to notice on the interstate, on Airline Highway, all over town, how many of those big yellow vans and trucks you see, because everyone does what I do. They trust River City's 1 Hour Air.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans. Presented by L'Auberge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
All right, we roll along here. Lee Steinberg set to join us here any minute. Sometimes, and again, I appreciate you and your flexibility, listening, watching, just understanding that if you are listening or watching throughout the week and we tell you certain things are scheduled for certain times and then they flex or move or pivot, just as an illustration or an explanation of how a lot of this week works. So a lot of times the people who are available for interviews, they'll have like a block of time. So like, let's say, we're talking to Lee Steinberg or when Clay Travis was here earlier. Like, they may have a block of time, an hour or 2 hours, and so they try to schedule in, let's say, 10 or 12-minute increments and segments. Well, if somebody goes long, then it can throw the whole schedule off. So like, we have Lee Steinberg scheduled for 4:30. Maybe he had a previous interview where someone went 3 or 4 minutes long, and then he's late getting to the next one, or whatever the case may be. So sometimes it happens like that. So you kind of have to stay flexible and pivot a little bit. So we look forward to having Lee. I don't have anything else in the next segment. Hey, Muse, do you have Tigers and the Pros ready right now? You can let me know on air if you have it.
Yeah. I can do it right now if you would like.
Yeah, okay, let's do it, man. Let's do that, and we'll give Lee a little time to get here. If he can get here, that'd be awesome. But right now, let's do it. Muse, Tigers in the Pros, hit it.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right. Start with the NBA. Naz Reid getting another start a night ago for the Timberwolves. Second game in a row, at least, with the start. 36 minutes this time for Naz. You'll remember in his last start, he dropped 30. This time, double-double. 22 points off of 50% shooting, 40% from behind the arc. Make up the 22 points. 10 rebounds as well. Kind of messed around with the threat of a triple. 6 dimes from Naz last night. All totaled up a plus 16. He did it all for the Timberwolves, and they skunked the Chicago Bulls 127-108. Ben Simmons on the floor for the Nets a night ago. Not his best scoring night, just 2 of 5 for 4 points, but did contribute 5 rebounds and 6 assists to the effort. The Nets would fall in the game to the Washington Wizards. And Ben also coming off the bench. It's been a change that we've seen here more recently. Not in the starting lineup, but coming off the bench. No Trendon Watford, and I still no Cam Thomas for the Brooklyn Nets as well. Well, I believe that pitchers and catchers report to spring training next week, which means that's right around the corner, which means Alex Bregman has to sign somewhere. We have another report out today. This comes from Bob Nightingale, but it's actually not really that much of a report. Bob Nightingale is just mentioning once again that Alex Bregman has no interest in a short-term deal and is looking for something in the realm of a 6 to 7 year deal. You'll recall the Houston Astros offered him 6 years, $156 million, and that was turned down. So maybe it's not the years on the contract. Maybe it is kind of about that money. We'll keep you updated, but again, spring training right around the corner, so got to happen here soon if Bregman's going to be on a roster come March. That's Tigers in the Pros.
All right, Tigers in the Pros. We are here at Media Row. We're presented by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Again, get by and see our friends at any of the branches of First South Farm Credit. You want to buy land in the lower 48, they can help you do it. Doesn't matter if it's a hunting property in Mississippi, a camp in Texas, a ranch in Montana, or land in Clinton or St. Francisville or the North Shore, wherever you want to get that 20 acres to build your family's dream home. Our friends over at First South Farm Credit can make it happen. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com. Again, check them out online at firstsouthland.com. That's First South Farm Credit. Okay, so I did just hear from Lee Steinberg's people. Tomorrow at 4:30. A little bit of a confusion. So I thought it was today. They thought it was tomorrow. So we'll have I'm sorry? Okay, perfect. Okay, no worries. So Lee Steinberg will be tomorrow here on AFR at 4:30. That actually gives me a second here real quick. One other thing that happened today, and this is actually good. It gives me an opportunity to let's see if I can knock this out. So Greg Sankey earlier, and again, we are admittedly not talking a ton of college football while we're here, but Greg Sankey was on the Feinbaum show and did advocate for changes to the college football playoff format. And the issue that he had primarily is the issue a lot of us had, which was seeding. I'll read this quote. The seeding issues, particularly moving teams into the top 4, needs to be looked at deeply. Now, any discussions for the coming year require unanimous agreement among the participants of the 10 conferences, and then Notre Dame is an independent. That's really tough to achieve. We saw that in just trying to expand, so we need to have those conversations. So I think we need to look at what happens round to round, make some experiences consistent as you move from round to round. I've advocated for this. I think so many of you agree. This is one of the very obvious choices. And I would like to add also that this was also something we saw very commonly in the BCS era, where you would play a season, and then if there was a disagreement about something, Maybe they tweaked the formula. There was a point where the AP said, hey, kindly stop using our poll in your formula. We don't want to be any part of it. And then maybe they weighted strength of schedule a little more heavily, or whatever the case may have been. I think that is absolutely the right move to make. The very close-minded approach would be to assume that you nailed it the first time and no changes are needed. This is one of those instances where, yes, it was the first year of this format. Look at it, see how you can tweak it. It's not any different than hosting an event. Let's say you're hosting a fundraiser, and you have it the first year, and after you do the fundraiser, you come back and say, what could we do differently now? Like, okay, let's look at that. How about this? Well, we needed more food. There wasn't enough waters. The band was too loud. Maybe we put them over there. You adjust. Look, it's so different than us being here. This is our first time ever at Super Bowl Media Row. One of the things I'll tell, we will have a post-event diagnostic meeting to look at everything we did, what worked, what didn't, how can we adjust next year to make it better. I'll tell you one thing, we probably would not come the first 2 days. The first 2 days were, especially now seeing Wednesday and Thursday, Monday and Tuesday were very thin. And it was a challenge at times. So I would say, we'll just come Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Awesome. Let's do that moving forward. So, yes, it is right to look and to adjust as you move forward. So they should. And the very obvious thing here that I believe, and I think unanimously you all do as well, is that you need to seed based on ranking. And Ohio State got screwed. Oregon got screwed. Oregon was the best team in the country. They were undefeated. They beat Ohio State in the regular season. They ended up with the worst draw because Boise and Arizona State got buys because they won bad leagues. You should not reward teams for winning a bad league. Play a season, rank the 12, seed the 12, go from there. It would have been a much better path forward. And quite honestly, a team like Oregon probably advances. I don't know if they win the national championship, but they certainly would have advanced. So Greg Sankey's advocating for it. I hope it happens that way. Time will tell if it does. But generally, if Greg Sankey and the head of the Big Ten if the heads of the SEC and the Big Ten are unified on something, they're generally going to get everyone else to fall in line because they hold all the cards. Because the SEC and the Big Ten could eventually say, you know what, we're just leaving. We'll just go create our own league and play amongst ourselves, and we'll leave all of you out. Oh, no, what do you want? Oh, you want to seed according to the ranking? Okay. And they'll fall in line. That's how it should be. All right, it's after further review. Hey, Kate, are we good for Jayson on the next segment? Okay, perfect. All right, sweet. Jayson Werth is going to join us when we come back. This is awesome, man. World Series champion with the Phillies in 2008. He was a teammate with Chad Durbin in that 2008 World Series team. And also, he is in the Washington Nationals Ring of Honor. That's pretty cool. Not sure why Jayson Werth's here, but I'm fired up to talk to him. Dude's on a $126 million contract as well. What's it like signing a 9-year contract? I'll ask Jayson Werth that when we come back. Stay here. It's after further review. Our Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical, concierge nursing in Baton Rouge, decisioncriticalbr.com. We'll wrap up hour number 2 next.
AFR.
Glow Resources and glowresources.com, complete employer solutions, GLO, glowresources.com. Check out our friends at Glow Resources. They're awesome, and they're awesome to work with. That's one of the things I love when I go in. I'll go meet with Jareth and Casey and the whole crew over at Glow, Hillary. They'll all say, some form of the same thing. We do really well. We have a great success rate in finding people, the right people for their businesses. But honestly, people like to do business with us because we're fun. And they are. They have created an incredible culture, and it shows physically when you walk in just by, the decor in the building and how fun it is. You walk in and you realize, this isn't a stuffy, stodgy place. It's a place where people are fired up to go every day, and most importantly, they get you results. They have a 96% success rate at Glow Resources. So if you hire Glow Resources to help you find the right people for your job, 96% success rate. GLO, glowresources.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your...
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans, presented by Low Bearish Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
Wrapping up hour number 2. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Thanks so much to our friends over at L'Auberge Baton Rouge, making this possible for us to be here at Media Row all week. Jayson Werth, man. Guy, I didn't realize. Nationals Ring of Honor. I remember Jayson Werth, 2008 World Series champion with the Phillies with our buddy Chad Durbin. Shout out Durbs. And dude, now you're into the horse racing game, huh?
Yeah, crazy. It's been a wild few years, and it's definitely been a wild last year. With Dornick, he won the Belmont, and my first colt I ever got into, and he's taken us places that we never thought we were going to go. It was one of those things where you start getting into some horses with some buddies in Florida, doing some Florida breds, running Tampa Bay Downs, like no big deal. It was cool. Kind of like, all right, let's test the waters. Let's get some better horses, running some bigger races, and got some fillies that ran good. Our Callie Kim, our Audios Jersey, our Harper Rose. We had a few good fillies that ran some great stakes. But then I got into Dornick. It was the first colt I got. I bought 10% of him. He ends up getting enough Derby points to get in the Derby. Runs 10th in the Derby. We got the one slot. He got the one post, which was like the kiss of death, right? So he never really had a chance. Yeah. But we thought he could win the Derby. We really did. And when he ran 10th, everybody else was like, he's done. So at the Belmont, we go into the Belmont. He was 17-1. He was the second longest favorite that day, or the second longest long shot. And I had him in two-day pick 5s, 2-day doubles, pick 3s, pick 4s, pick 5s, pick 5s in, pick 5. I mean, I killed it because I was like, this dude's going to win. And when he won, we won, and we went absolutely crazy. And we would go on to win the Haskell. We ran 4th in the Travers. We were supposed to run the Breeders' Cup. He got injured, and now he's a sire at Spendthrift Farms. But on the heels of all that, I said, you know what? This is a great sport. More people need to get into this on the ownership side. And so I started Icon Racing partnerships. We raised $3 million to buy horses our first year, and now got about 25 new owners into the sport.
Man.
And we started Icon Racing LFG Media Company. I dropped a podcast, second podcast dropped today. Check it out. It's
Love it.
First one was a little rough. I think we worked out the second one a little bit better. My co-host Sean Kelly played 10 years in the big leagues. He's from Louisville. Louisville Slugger is what I was grew up saying. Louisville, and now I've been corrected. It's Louisville.
I always say you say it the way the locals say it. So same. I always grew up saying Louisville.
Yep.
But I had a buddy of mine, was my college roommate, was from Harrodsburg, Kentucky, which is just outside of Lexington.
Okay.
And it was always Louisville. And so Louisville, I was like, okay, I'll do the Louisville. I'll just stutter over myself and go Louisville. If that's what you want me to say, that's what I'll say. I'll respect it.
Sure.
But I was looking up. So you're from Illinois. Were you ever into horse racing, or was it baseball your whole life? That was
my whole
always
life.
the goal.
I'm a third generation big league baseball player. From the time I could, stand up, I had a bat in my hand, glove, ball. My uncle played. I grew up watching my uncle play for the Angels. My grandfather played 19 years in the big leagues. I kind of grew up, around him, and just, kind of playing all the time. I played hoops a lot, and as I was growing up, 6'5",
Yeah.
Naturally played.
You're the big kid. Hey, throw it to the big kid.
Yeah, well, I was actually the point guard, so I could have went on to play in college, but baseball was my calling, and that's all I really wanted to do. And I retire, and a few years after I retire, it's like maybe I'll play golf. I started playing golf. I was like, this is okay, but then I started playing golf with these guys that own these Florida breds, and I'm watching them like on Tuesday afternoon coming in, like after your morning round, like they flip on the TV, they're screaming at the TV like, what's wrong with you guys? Like they're like, oh, I own the 6. I'm like, you own the 6?
I own the 6.
What do you mean? So I'm like, all right. So like, give me. I want to own the 6. And that's kind of how it started.
So you own the 6, or you want to own the 6, but you're also a guy who signed a 9-figure contract in your professional career.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, baseball contracts are guaranteed. What's it like when you put pen to paper on a 9-figure contract?
That whole thing was pretty crazy. I fired my agent in August. I hired Scott Boras.
That worked.
That worked out good. Well, the Phillies were kind of screwing me around with like trying to get me signed some hometown discount deal. I'll show them like I'm from Illinois. What do you mean hometown discount? And then. It was probably $55-60 million upgrade, not signing the deal and waiting it out and getting Scott Boras, maybe more. I mean, who knows what would have happened, but it was crazy. I was at my farm with my buddies. We were getting ready to. It was hunting season. We were gonna get up early and we hunt whitetails and the phone rings and Scott's got a deal with the Red Sox ready to go. And he's like, just sit tight, So I'm like, all right. So we're like, we can't sit tight. We're like, kind of like coming out of our skin. Like everybody's freaking out.
Like, Scott, this is normal for you.
Well, it was also a month before we thought we would sign. We figured we'd go to like the end of, into January. Well, could go to the, spring training, but this was like December. And he calls back about an hour later and he says, hold on. Like the Washington Nationals are in. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I know we met with them, but yeah, like serious? Like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna go to the Washington Nationals. They just come off 200 lost seasons. Like, that's like career suicide, right? And then we talked about it. He's like, no, listen, got these great players, Steven Strasburg, Bryce Harper, they got these draft picks and the vision of the owners, whatever. Just hear me out. He's like, just sit tight. So another hour goes by. He calls back and he's like, all right, here's your decision. It's 5 years. With a 6-year option to Boston or 6 years to Washington, but a full no trade. I was like, Boston. He's like, listen. Listen to me. And I was like, dude, my grandpa played for the Red Sox. I want to be a Red Sox my whole life. Like, the money was about the same, minus the year. And he's like, look, it's that no trade is a big deal. And like it turned out to be a big deal because Carl Crawford signed with Boston, Adrian Gonzalez, all those guys went to Boston. And then like the second or third year of that deal, they blew up that team. They traded those guys, everywhere. It was a disaster. So he's like, just think about it. Let's sleep on it, right? So like, we can't sleep. Like We get in the buggies, we get the four-wheelers. Like, you don't take the buggies, the four-wheelers out during hunting season, right?
Yeah.
We're flying around the farm, like going crazy.
The whitetail don't like that.
No,
they don't, Jayson.
Our neighbors were ecstatic because now all the deer are gone. But we wake up, I get back, and my phone, I got like 20 missed calls from Scott. I'm like, oh, shit, like what up? And he says, you're going to Washington. I got 7 years, full no trade. And I was like, 7? What happened to 6? He's like, I got an extra year. He's like, let's go. I was like, I'll call you back. I hang up the phone, and I sit there, and I look at my buddies, call my wife. Call my dad, woke my dad up. I'm like, we're going to Washington. And the money was close, but it was, at the end of the day, it was a full no trade that really, because I got small kids. It was a chance to really go set the family up and know that you're going to be somewhere, and then the relationship with the ownership, and then it turned out to be amazing. The Nats were probably it was us and the Dodgers were the best team in the big leagues while I was there. So it was, and then they won the World Series the year after, or 2 years after I left. But that was the culmination of all that work that we did to turn that organization around. And if I would have went to Boston, I'm assuming it would have. Who knows? But it probably would have been the same thing. That team got blown up. Carl Crawford's career didn't turn out to what it could have been if he would have stayed in one place. Maybe, I don't know. But
and friends, that is how you get to buy the 6. Just like that.
Just like that.
That's so good. Jayson Werth, we're down to our final 30 seconds. Icon Racing LFG. So check out the podcast, subscribe. ICON, Icon Racing LFG. Website, anything people need to know?
We're building the website. We kind of got the cart in front of the horse, so to speak, here. But
a pun.
The socials are up. The podcast is up, and we're doing some really cool things on the crossover from the ownership side and the media side. So we're trying to bring new people into the sport, get new owners, and I think ownership is what drives the cart, so to speak, in horse racing.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate
AFR.
the time. Jayson Werth. It's AFR, Hour 3 next. Take a quick minute, remind you about our friends over at Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, with more than 30 locations across 13 different states and headquartered right down the road from us in Harahan. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. If you weigh or measure something, we sell, service, and rent the products you use to weigh and measure. Chad Durfin just texted me. He said, tell J-Dub what's up and congrats. Michelli, M-I-C-H-E-L-L-I, Michelli.com. Hey, remember, they're also hiring. When you got 30 offices in 13 different states, they're always looking for people. So go to the website, hit the careers tab. They got a great veterans program as well, part of the DOD Skills Bridge program to help veterans as they transition from military life back into civilian life. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. At Michelli, we show the world what measurement can do.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. In some of the last deals reported before the NBA trade deadline, ESPN's Shams Charania says the Hawks get Terrence Mann and Bones Highland in a deal with the Clippers. LA gets Bogdan Bogdanovic and 3 second-round picks. Also, the Grizzlies send Marcus Smart and a first-round pick to the Wizards in a multi-team deal. Memphis gets 2 second-round picks and some roster flexibility. Charania also reports the Nets are now working on a buyout agreement with Ben Simmons, who could be a free agent after the season. Warriors head coach Steve Kerr would like to see the trade deadline moved.
The league should consider making the trade deadline at the All-Star break, just so you don't have to face these games where guys are getting traded half an hour before a game, and you're trying to process the emotions and trying to win a game.
Steve Kerr, Shohei Ohtani's former interpreter, was sentenced today in California. Ippei Mitsuhara gets almost 5 years in prison, and he's ordered to repay the almost $17 million he stole from Ohtani.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right.
Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. It is day 4 from NFL Super Bowl 59 Media Row, and very excited about this conversation. A bit ago, LSU all-time great Patrick Peterson sat down with me, and we were interrupted by T-Bob Hebert, but it was a great chat. Here it is. We roll along. Radio Row, Super Bowl 59. Our coverage all week is presented by LeBears, and we're glad to have you hanging out with us here. A guy around LSU in this part of the world needs no introduction. The original number 7, does that fit? The original number 7? Can we call it that?
Yeah.
Patrick Peterson.
Just see my guy T-Bob over here.
Dude, y'all overlapped?
No, we played.
Yeah.
And
so you came in at 8.
Yes.
Hey, get a headset and come talk to us. We got another headset. Tell T-Bob to come on here. This would be great. So Patrick Peterson is with us. T-Bob's going to jump on a headset as well. Hey, before he
hold up.
Wait, before you yard sale the whole interview, let me at least get one legitimate question. Are you done?
Not
playing?
official yet. Not official yet.
Okay.
Yep.
So what's the plan?
I want to play. I'm still working out, but we'll see how this offseason goes for me.
You had a really good year in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Last season.
I know that was a shocker that I wasn't back there to finish up my fourth team season, but that's the business, I guess.
Bro, T-Bob.
Is he still working out? He's got the leather pants on. Damn, Pat, let's go, bro.
Man, you know, ever since I was in college, man, I was always the first in the weight room.
Yeah,
nothing has changed.
No, I know. This man grind his ass off. One of the best players ever shared a locker room with. Absolute legend, man. What's up, Pat? It's been so much fun, man, watching you from afar all these years.
Yes,
it's so crazy, bro.
What's it like, T-Bob, to have had Cam Hayward come here, now Patrick P. All these people from your past, and they're going, they're going to be Hall of Famers.
That are like NFL legend Hall of Famers. I spent like 4 months with Jeff Fisher's St. Louis Rams. Yeah, exactly.
Pat, it's funny. People always,
man.
Like, T and I have we'll joke back and forth. People are like, man, what if you T-Bob got in a fight? I'm like, he would murder me. He's a giant human. But he stands next to Cam Hayward yesterday.
Right. Bro, what the hell, dude?
Do you have any stories playing with Cam in Pittsburgh? I mean, he's like legit giant.
And whenever Cam is upset, everybody get out of the way. Because I can remember Cam was injured, right? And we was going through our 3-game losing skit. And Cam was just pissed, just furious in the locker room. He just stood up and just gave the team a speech, just was saying that this is not us.
Really?
What the hell are we doing? And after that speech, we went on a 3-game winning streak.
Damn, dude.
He speaks, you listen.
No doubt about it.
Patrick Peterson.
He was the Papa Bear of the group.
With us, courtesy of Gila River Casino Resort. We'll talk about that coming up here in just a quick second. I mean, you guys played together at LSU.
You were 07, right?
Oh, wait.
I could never remember if you were 07 or 08.
Oh, wait.
That was one of those guys, Matt. You got to understand, when it came to recruiting, there were some guys who were just different, right? Like you knew, the second they came into the locker room, they just had a presence. They were clearly physically built different. They were going to play immediately, and that's exactly what Pat was, dude. It was just insane. Started from day one.
Did you know? So I do tell this story. Every year when you go to the first practice of fall camp, I always I'm not following recruiting, watching huddle highlights or anything. So that when we go to the first practice, the first time I'll see guys, there's always a freshman that you could just tell. It's like Corey Thompson was one of those guys. Terrence Tolliver was one of those guys.
Oh yeah.
Snug.
But the first day, I mean, you look like a linebacker playing cornerback as a freshman. Did you come to LSU in that 08? Do you remember walking out there and feeling like, I'm going to do this right away?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Like T-Bob said, 100%. My first time
built different
in one-on-ones, because T-Bob can tell you, the freshmen, we never really practiced with the older guys until the afternoon. So the mornings was for the younger guys to start learning the system, get your feet up under yourself or whatnot. And then the second practice, we with everybody.
Yeah.
So the first one-on-one rep, I had to go up against Brandon LaFell. And I'm a freshman.
Damn, straight up against JoJo.
So I'm up there, I'm impressed, and he gives me this inside stem. And with me knowing the game, although I'm a freshman, if he gives me an inside stem, he's running a dig.
Yeah.
Because the route tree wasn't as advanced as it is now. So he gave me the dig. I underslipped his stem.
Yeah.
I undercutted it, picked it off. Brandon LaFell lost his hat. Because then after that, I go up against Chris Mitchell.
Shout out Chris Mitchell.
Number 86. I played off. He ran like a little stop
smelly
route.
brother.
I picked it off.
So your first 2 reps.
Yes.
Interceptions.
So then Brandon goes off. He's like, man, how the hell? And he didn't say how the hell.
Yeah.
We let this rep? And from that point on, we got in the locker room. Because I was one of the freshmen that didn't get hazed.
No.
It was like this guy belongs. We had crazy Raheem.
Yep.
We had Tyson Jackson on the team. Ricky Jean Francois.
Oh man.
Al Woods. I'm on the team with all these old heads.
Nah, I remember. I mean, my hazing day. Raheem actually picked me up over his shoulder and then slammed me on my back in the middle of the locker room during the kind of jump in day.
What's so crazy about that? I was more nervous about that than actually going to practice. I was like, man, I'm about to get out of practice. I don't know what the hell is about to happen. I see all these guys getting freaking tortured. When is my time is going to come? And I never forget, Brandon LaFell came to me.
You good blood.
Yeah. I'm sitting in my locker. That's exactly what he said, man. He said, "You good?" I'm like, all right, cool.
I mean, how long did JoJo end up making in the league? Like 8 years, something like
I
that.
think like 9, 10.
Damn.
I mean,
And day one, Pat walks on and does that. That's. I mean, meanwhile, my first fracs, I'm going up against Glenn Dorsey, and I think I went in the bathroom stall and cried afterwards. I was like, I'm just like, I can't play. Like, I'm not good at football. I'm never gonna make it here.
Unfortunately for 2008, Patrick Peterson picking off the first 2 passes in practice was foreshadowing for 2008. Unfortunately, that was a season plagued by interception.
The one year we had like a good offense kind of too. Like we just turned it over a little too much.
Yeah, we broke the record that year.
08,
for pick sixes.
Remember that?
08 was it was a weird year because that forever changed how Les approached the game. He was just
because he used to be a pass first guy.
It did.
It altered his brain. He got too risk averse. And then I mean, to his credit, like you could win a lot of games that way, but it's because we were just better than most teams.
Yes.
So when you run up against someone even, that's when that lack of creativity would get us into trouble, bro.
We got Patrick Peterson with us. T-Bob's hanging out as well. Just walking by, former teammate, so he jumped on the mic as well. Let me not forget, Gila River Casino. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so man,
the partnership there.
I'm here on the behalf of Gila Rivers.
Okay. Look at this.
Some promo chips, $250 of free play. You can use it in the restaurant. But the biggest thing is Gila Rivers have this prop bet promo. They're giving away $5.9 million.
Come on.
All you have to do is go on Gila River Casino, propbet.com, fill out 26 questions, and you have an opportunity to win $5.9 million.
What? Wait. I thought it was like 5.9 split amongst a bunch of people.
No, it is. But you have an opportunity to win up.
Okay. Up to
yes.
Okay.
If you're the one that wins it all,
dude, let's go.
So you don't even and Gila River is in Arizona.
Yes.
But you could do this online. You don't have to be in Arizona to do this.
All you have to do is sign up online. You're gonna pretty much get like a Gila River casino card, and that's pretty much what's gonna track you, get your free play. I already gave you your free play token.
Yeah, man. All right, so we'll make sure we share this. So Gila River is G-I-L-A.
Yeah.
R-I-V-E-R.
Very Arizona.
Very Arizona.
G-I-L. T-Bob, stop stepping on me. It's like whiskey and wine all over again.
What, dude? I'm just excited. I keep patting years, dude. I'm sorry. Shout out Gila River.
G-I-L-A-R-I-V-E-R. So go to Gila River Casino. Here's the website. It's GilaPropPlay.com. G-I-L-A. GilaPropPlay.com. We'll make sure we share it with the promotion link and all this stuff on our website. So, man, you left the year before the 2011 season, which ended up being the epic.
So
epic.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No,
I got the butt of bad of both super in a
you were bookended by championship.
So
yeah.
I came in 08, they won in 07.
Yeah.
I left 10 and they went in 11.
Yeah. And we would have won if you were still there.
Bro.
It turns out you were too good at football.
Right.
Because you left after 3 years for the NFL. Because if we had you and Tyron at the height of his powers that year, I mean, I don't care how ass backward the offense was. There was no way that anybody could have stopped us, bro.
No doubt about it. I'm sorry about that.
People would rather hear from you than me. So if you have something to say, please just tell me to shut up and you talk. Like they hear plenty from me all the time. But I do want to ask, because I am interested just from guys from that era, the opinion on with time removed on Les Miles and what it was like playing for him, because Les is kind of a complicated figure now. Like, is he a Hall of Famer? With the vacated wins, he doesn't qualify anymore. But I've always contended, man, you don't win that many games that consistently for that long without doing something right.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, what's your thought on that era and Les?
Man, Les was he was different. He was definitely different, but
That's the way to say it.
Yeah. He was one of those coaches that wasn't afraid to step outside of the box. As far as we all know that he was afraid to pass the ball, but when it came down to calling
the hell of a thing to be afraid of.
When it came down to freaking calling trick plays,
true.
or like literally going out on a limb to do something ridiculous, he was going to do it. And the thing about it, we practice that stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And as a team, we knew it was going to get called. Like he had with the interceptions that we throw, that was definitely something that haunted him. But when it came down to trick plays and trying to steal a possession, he had no fear in that.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, look, like I don't know. Tell me if you agree with this, Pat, because I've always said that like Coach Miles, being a head coach of college team is as much CEO as it is anything
100%.
else. And he was really good at hiring assistants. I feel like he also did a great job of like he would go out of his way to hire good assistants. He was obviously very good at recruiting.
Yes.
I mean, we were
really
top
good.
5 classes, have top 5 class. He was good at fundraising. You know, he's an interesting guy, shaking hands and everything. In a kind of ironic way, the actual coaching of the football may have been the weakest part of his skill set, which sounds crazy, but I don't mean that in a demeaning way. What I mean is like, that's why you said he has to be doing something like that's why he had so much success. And then to Pat's point, being willing to engage in risk and everything like that, like 2010 Florida, right?
Yes.
We get the first step.
Yeah.
We practice that every single day. Not once did it ever bounce.
Not once.
Not one
True
freaking
story.
time.
Were you watching that play? Like, do you remember?
I was on the sideline because once they said that the play is up, I want to see it.
Yeah.
And we was like, oh, wait, it bounced right back in Jasper's hand. Like, it was the weirdest play ever. And it never hit, like T-Bob said, never hit the ground. It was always perfect.
Always perfect every day.
Every single day.
Who if we got a couple more minutes left with Patrick Peterson here on site with us. Real quick, let people know what are you doing now? I mean, you said you're not done playing.
Yep.
But what else is going on with life, man?
Man, so I'm trying to get into the analyst world. Making my rounds, continue to get my reps in. I want to be a broadcaster, TV broadcasting games. I want to get in the booth. I feel like
you're gonna kill that.
Yeah, I feel like I'm really good at analyzing and giving raw feedback on things I see right in live action.
Okay.
So that's my goal. I'm working with Sirius XM right now. Doing some work with them throughout this week here in New Orleans. So just want to continue to get my reps up and get as good as I can, so I can stay on this side of the world with you guys.
Bro, we're gonna be seeing you in all the. I mean, you got your 10,000 hours, man. I mean, you've watched. I mean, who knows how many hours of film you've watched at this point?
Oh man,
I can't wait to hear you in the booth.
Yes, sir.
Who's the greatest cornerback of this era, the DBU era? You, Stingley, Claiborne, Tyron. I mean, just the
Daryl Simon, he was pretty good. Not the greatest. Daryl's pretty awesome.
I mean, you're talking about college play or our years in the NFL.
You just tell me your opinion.
College is me. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Because I was able to do it at a 3-year span. Like most of those guys came in, and like Derek didn't even play his junior year. 2-time All-American. The first DB to win the Jim Thorpe there, the second DB in college history to win the Jim Thorpe and the Bednarik. God. So
Heisman pose after the punt return against W.
Bro, and you know what?
What did Les Miles tell you after that?
He's like, come on, Patrick. Look where we're kicking the ball from now. Like, you cannot penalize your team like that, Patrick. But great play.
It was a great play. The other part of it, too, is, though, you had to...
Was that not him?
Yes.
All right.
Shut the hell up.
All right. So, Patrick Peterson, future color analyst. Let's go ahead. Let's hear your game call on this one.
Oh, here it is.
Let's hear it. I want the game call.
Let's
hear it.
I'm not the play-by-play guy.
All right. Intercepted by Patrick Peterson on the sideline.
But it's coming up close. The refs are discussing it on the sideline. Patrick is jumping, saying that he has it. I think it's an interception. They having a debate on the sideline.
Oh, look at Jake.
Oh my God, dude.
Mind you, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first year of instant replay in college.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah. The thing is, you had it. I mean, you see it. You see it.
Drag.
I mean, you got two of them.
You got debris. You got all type of stuff.
I mean,
possession.
Have you ever asked like Dean Blandino or Pereira or any of those guys to look at this play? I mean, it's the most
crazy, bro. That's so crazy.
I don't know how they missed that.
Let's not get it twisted. You still weren't winning that game because you couldn't score. But
whoa!
No.
We had just scored the last possession.
Charles Scott ripped off a long run, and that game was great.
And watch you took Mount Cody.
Real talk.
He was down 5.
Watch you took Mount Cody down on that touchdown run. Watch you took down Mount Cody on that touchdown run. Dude.
I'm as big an LSU fan as anybody. You weren't winning the game.
Wait, I even have another point. Go back to this game. I caught a cramp in this game.
I remember that.
That's why he scored, because you got a cramp, and shout out
Julio got like
BT was young at the
we
time.
was actually in the league when he scored.
Thank you, Matt, not scoring. Shut up your ass, dude. Get out of
For
here.
the 60-yard screen, Brandon Taylor went in for me because I was cramping.
Yeah,
And
it's BT's fault.
And they just
he's a freshman. He was a freshman at the time, dude. He was a freshman at the
His
time.
fault. They literally just threw a screen.
Yeah.
It
No,
was
I
like
remember the play. I was
one-yard screen.
at the
and he
game.
took it 60 yards.
I remember. Oh,
I was like,
God.
the time I'm not on the field, you don't have a catch all game, and this is a catch that beat us.
And that was a generation. I mean, that's a generational guy. That was me. Think about that. Seeing Julio and Pat P go up against each other in college. Are you kidding me? What better symbolizes the LSU Alabama heights of the two empires at that time than Julio and Pat going against each other?
They're pretty great time.
Patrick Peterson here with us on behalf of Gila River Casino.
Yeah.
Go to GilaPropPlay.com. GILA, GilaPropPlay.com. GilaPropPlay.com. Win your share of $5.9 million. It's free to play.
It's real.
It's free to play. Got our chips and our QR code as well. Pat Pete, it's a pleasure, man.
Appreciate it, man.
You're the best.
Steve,
Always
go
go
Tigers, baby.
Go Tigers, baby.
Great.
Absolutely, bro.
The great Patrick Peterson, the original number 7. We'll be back from Radio Row.
AFR.
Love telling you about our friends over at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Get Gordon and get it done. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 30 years. Get Gordon and get it done. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Remember, yes, auto accidents, big truck wrecks, but so much more than that. You can go to the website, getgordon.com, start there, getgordon.com, hit the cases we handle, and you'll see, yes, truck wrecks, hit and runs, workers' comp, maritime accidents, so many different things that effectively could affect your life that aren't your fault. When that happens, you need representation. You need an experienced attorney. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys and his staff will take great care of you. So, as we always say, get Gordon and get it done. You can call 888-8888, 888-8888, or go to getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
Serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans. Presented by L'Auberge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
Day 4, Radio Row SEC Football Media Days. Our coverage all week presented by L'Auberge Baton Rouge. Very pleased now to be joined by one of the trifecta, the triumvirate of Unsportsmanlike Heard weekday mornings on ESPN Radio. It is Michelle Smallman, a.k.a. Smalls. How are you?
It is me. It's Smalls. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. You told me you love Baton Rouge. Were you pandering?
No, I love Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay.
So I am from Illinois, from right outside St. Louis. I went to the University of Illinois, which in my opinion is a great college. I had so much fun there, Big Ten, football, the whole deal. And I always said, if I ever have kids and they don't want to go to Illinois, this is going to be a problem. Okay. It's going to be a problem because of how much I love Illinois. So when I went to the network as a producer, I started producing Rosillo and Cannell. And we went on a college football tour. And we went to Baton Rouge, Louisiana for Bama LSU night game. And to this day, it's the single best sports environment I've ever been in. I have never seen anything like Baton Rouge, LSU, Bama, Saturday night. First of all, the tailgate scene, it was so fun. And everyone is so welcoming. They're so excited to show you about LSU football, show you about Baton Rouge. The game, when I sat in my seat, I was there with one of my friends that I worked with. She was sitting next to me as close as you and I are, right before kick when it's so loud. She's screaming at me and I couldn't hear her. I thought the stadium was going to crumble. And then LSU did not win, unfortunately. But we still went out, had the best time afterwards. And I was like, you know what? If I have a kid and they want to go to LSU, I think I'll allow it. This is a pretty great place.
As an alum, I'm very partial. I love LSU, the school as well. I mean, the athletics and everything speak for themselves. What year was it? It had to be 14 or 16.
Probably 16.
Okay. Yeah, that was the 10-0 game. Which
yes, it was low scoring. Low scoring.
So miserable.
Yeah, it was a
defense
bummer.
played great. There was just no offense. LSU had a long stretch where they didn't beat Bama, and it was miserable for everybody. Okay, so but all that said, and to our audience, I told you off air, I get a chance to listen to Unsportsmanlike. I'm an early riser, so I get a chance to hear them mornings in their first couple hours before Hester and T-Bob come on. And recently you went through you were a fan free agent.
I was.
Okay. So as Michelle said, she's from Illinois. So you grew up a Rams fan, St. Louis Rams.
I did. Greatest show on turf, Rams. Hello.
Okay. Hakeem dropped the ball. Saints 2000. Yes, that was a great moment for New Orleans. First ever playoff win. But I'm just curious why there was no consideration for the Saints in your fan free agency. You just said how much you loved LSU. There's a lot of synergies with the fan bases. We would have loved you here.
Can I explain myself, please?
Sure.
I did consider the Saints for several reasons. One, St. Louis and New Orleans, very similar cities. We both have that French influence. You may not know this about St. Louis. Second biggest Mardi Gras in the country behind New Orleans.
Didn't know that. See, Mobile claims all that stuff.
Forget Mobile, okay?
Yeah,
it's St. Louis, all right?
So forget you, Mobile.
Forget you, Mobile.
We've spoken.
That's right. We're done with you. So there's a lot of synergy there. Great food cities. And I love New Orleans too. Just coming here, it reminds me a lot of home. And like you mentioned, I know how much you guys love football, specifically Saints football. So I really considered it because I did think it would be a good fit. But when it came down to it, you know, when you have a bad breakup, which I did with the Rams, it was really bad. You want to jump into something that brings you joy immediately. And unfortunately, the state of the Saints, when I made my choice at the end of last season over the summer, it wasn't so great. So I didn't know if I wanted to jump into a fresh relationship where there would be so much angst.
I hate your logic.
So that's unfortunately at the end of the day why I didn't pick them. One of my former colleagues and great friends, Rick Ventori, who coached with the Saints for a long time, he loves New Orleans and he really made a great sales pitch. And I was like, Coach, I'm with you. I feel the same way, but I need to bring some joy back into my football life here. And I just knew it was going to be a rough first season with the Saints. You can't do that on the honeymoon.
You know what, those Smalls, and I get it. And your logic is so on point.
Thank you.
And that's a very logical approach. But I would also say to you that, you know what, are we in it for the short term or are we in it for the long haul together?
Right.
And when you're in it for the long haul, you realize any marriage, there's going to be ups and downs, and there's going to be good times and bads, and there's going to be rocky roads. But you know what? You're in it for each other and committed to each other. And this organization, the fan base, it is a mad love addiction with the Saints in the city of New Orleans and their fan base. And I know you're going to say this because you picked the Packers.
Yeah, I did.
But Smalls, that feels kind of front runnerish to me.
How?
Because it's the Green Bay Packers. The freaking trophy's named after their coach. It's Lambeau. It's Lombardi. It's all the stuff.
It is Titletown, USA.
Thank you. Like, kind of front runnerish. I mean, it is front runnerish, right?
Okay, but in my defense, they're a young team. Yes, they made the playoffs before I picked them, and then again this year. But they felt like they were on the ascent. It's not like I picked the Chiefs for crying out loud, or the Bills, or the Ravens. Well, the Bills have been in the playoffs a lot.
Yeah.
Josh Allen and the organization as a whole have more wins during this 7-year span than any quarterback or organization without making a Super Bowl appearance. So they've had a lot of success. They're knocking on the door. They're right there. A couple better execution on some plays, and maybe they get over the hump. But it's not like I picked a team that's in the Final Four all the time.
That's fair. You go
See,
Bills
I'm coming
Mafia.
at you with logic
go Bills Mafia. I see, but when I think but here's the problem with it. Michelle Smallman's our guest, courtesy of Verizon. We'll talk about that in just a second. But like, I look at Fandom and it's not about logic.
No, it's not.
There's nothing logical about Fandom.
It's quite literally fanatical.
You're a St. Louis Cardinals fan.
Yes. And man, are we in a bad place right now?
Yeah, but are you like looking around?
Never.
That's my point, Smalls.
Never.
See, that was new with logic, right? Like,
right, but I'm born into that. It's in my DNA. I always say about Cardinals, the Cardinals in St. Louis, and I'm sure it's with LSU and the Saints in Louisiana as well. We love them so much. They have a seat at the dinner table. They're a member of the family.
Yes.
So I can tell you, man, the Cardinals are in a bad way. I'm really mad at them. If you try to say, man, the Cardinals stink, I'd be like, don't you dare.
It's your crazy uncle.
You watch your mouth when you're talking about my franchise.
It's your crazy uncle.
They are.
It's like, I can call him my crazy uncle, but if you do, we're going to fight.
That's right. We're going to have a problem.
Michelle Smallman, weekday mornings on Sportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. In Baton Rouge, on our Baton Rouge affiliate, of course, 5 to 7. Of course, Alexandria, Lafayette, Lake Charles are here on Sportsmanlike. With Verizon, what are you doing with Verizon today?
Okay, so I'm really excited about this. As you know, as soon as we got to New Orleans, you can feel the energy in the air. This is the biggest and best place to be for the Super Bowl. But the House of Verizon specifically is the best place to be because it has the best of sports, music, fashion, and culture all colliding at the House of Verizon. If you're a Verizon customer, you get access to limited edition apparel from Rude and Off Season. There's going to be New Orleans-inspired sips and bites, photo moments, and you have a chance to win vintage NFL memorabilia. For more information, if you're in New Orleans, be sure to head to thehouseofverizon.com, and to claim exclusive tickets, you could visit the My Verizon app. Verizon customers only, though, plus a guest. All ages welcome at the House of Verizon, only during open access hours. During select events, attendees will be required to be 21 plus because it is New Orleans. We're going to have a good time. And attendees under the age of 18, make sure you're accompanied by an adult or a guardian.
The great thing about that, too, is like, so for our audience, like, you cut the state in half. So terrestrially, we're syndicated all throughout. So like, there's a lot of people who are going to make day trips.
Oh, great.
They're going to come down like Friday or Saturday to come in. So again, the website is it houseofverizon.com?
Head to houseofverizon.com and please come by. I'm going to be there. It's going to be awesome.
Houseofverizon.com. Okay. So the Cardinals are going to stink in baseball again?
Yeah, they're not going to be good for a while.
Okay. Are the Packers ever going to win a championship with Jordan Love?
Definitely.
Definitely. Why are you so convinced?
So this season, up and down for him. First, so last year, amazing first rookie campaign for him. Obviously, they go into Dallas, beat the brakes off the Cowboys first round. They took the San Francisco 49ers toe-to-toe. I really thought they would have a better follow-up to that. But let's be real. They were riddled with injuries, including Jordan Love at the beginning of the season. He was, even though they did win with Malik Willis, shout out to Matt LaFleur for the game plan there. And Josh Jacobs, of course, just getting it done on the ground.
Do you love Matt LaFleur too?
Love him.
Do you really?
Love Matt LaFleur.
My wife loves Matt LaFleur, but not because she knows anything about football.
Oh, she thinks he's good looking, huh? You know what? I deal with that a lot with the guys that I work with. All their wives are big Jalen Hurts fans, and it's not because they appreciate his style of quarterbacking. They think he's a handsome man.
My wife's watching the Super. Like, she's going to a Super Bowl party just because of Taylor Swift. She has no idea about football.
That's right.
So anyway.
Well, I went to the Kelsey's party last night. So they had a New Heights podcast party, and I went to it. And Travis, of course, was not there because he's playing in the game. He's trying to be focused, get the three-peat done. But there was a lot of whispering around, like, do we think he and Taylor will show up? If they come, what's going to happen? And I'm not a diehard Swiftie, but I certainly respect and appreciate her. I said to everybody that I was with, I was like, I will be the one to take your pictures, okay? Like, let's have a game plan. Just like if your wife was in this situation, you got to have a game plan, because if she's swooshing in, you have to make a split-second decision. I'm like, give me your phones. I will execute. I'll get the photo for socials.
Smalls, this is how disassociated my wife is with reality. She thinks that I'm capable of getting us suite tickets to the Super Bowl so she could maybe hang outside Taylor's suite and see Taylor Swift.
Wait, you're not capable of that?
Well,
come on. I thought you were too.
Here's the biggest problem. Okay, we live in a small corner of the world, right? And in the small corner of this world, our show's done well. And so, like, the first sports thing we ever did together, LSU baseball is a big deal.
Yeah.
I was throwing out the first pitch and we sat in the suite at the game. That's the first thing she ever did in baseball, ever. And
so you set the standard high.
I ruined you. She has no concept of anything else otherwise. So
this is your fault.
Yes, it absolutely is my fault. We got a few more minutes before you go. I'm curious from the fandom perspective, because when the Rams left, our morning drive host is Jay Kester, who played for the Chargers in San Diego, still very loyal to the organization now they're in LA. I'm like, but why? It feels so different, and they left you and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, as a fan who saw their team leave, why wouldn't you stick with the team or when they left to the new spot?
Good question. Fair question. So with San Diego, their circumstances were totally different than St. Louis because the city couldn't get it done. There wasn't the public money. They weren't really playing ball with the Spanos family in that way. And so they were almost forced to figure out a solution. With the Rams, it was totally different. St. Louis had $400 million of public funding on the table, all the corporate sponsorships. They had the architects in place, the rendering. They had bought the land. They've done everything as part of the relocation guidelines. They crossed every T and dotted every I. There was not one thing that St. Louis did not accomplish in order to keep their team. So much so that at the NFL owners meeting, when they were trying to figure out the Chargers, Raiders, Rams puzzle, the first vote that went down was not going Stan Kroenke's way. Jerry Jones is a very powerful man. He wanted Stan Kroenke to get the Rams to St. Louis. So they had the first secret meeting in NFL owner history in order to get this done and whip the votes. A lot of people don't know the story. My dream job is to do the 30 for 30 on this.
Okay.
What if I told you? What if I told you?
How about that guy's voice?
Amazing. So good. But
do you know that guy? Do you know the What If I Told You guy?
No, but I got to meet him.
Right.
I mean, like we're in the ESPN network. We should be able to meet whoever that guy is. We want to meet you.
What if I told you guy?
What if I told you guy? But St. Louis, in the wake of all of this, sued the NFL and the Rams, and they settled. And St. Louis won $790 million in the lawsuit. And the NFL does not lose, ever. So that tells you just a little bit about how all this went down. So I can understand if you're a Chargers fan being mad at the city, too, and saying, I was born into this. I love this franchise, and they just couldn't make it work. But the way the Rams left St. Louis was so dirty, and it was so bad, and they torched the city on the way out. They said, this is a terrible place to be. No team can survive here. And for a guy who's from Missouri and Stan Kroenke to do that, it was a betrayal at the highest level.
Yeah.
So St. Louis, done with the Rams, dead to us, lifetime ban.
Michelle's got to be on the 30 for 30. Like, they've got to get you in one of those sit down rooms.
Oh,
where, like,
totally.
I mean, that would be great.
I can't wait. I'll let it fly.
Before you go Sunday, who wins and why?
So I really want to make the case for the Eagles because I think that they're the better team. Top to bottom, I think they're the more talented team. But last night I was doing my notes, and everything that I had for the Eagles, I had a counter for the Chiefs. So I lost $87 last year betting against the Chiefs. I think it was like they lost to the Raiders, I believe. I think it was on Christmas or around Christmas. And I'm like, I've watched a lot of Chiefs football in St. Louis since the Rams left. Yeah. This team is not the same. They're not talented enough. They can't get it done. I bet $87 in honor of Travis Kelce that they would lose. So last night I'm looking at the Eagles and I'm thinking, okay, like, how can I get this done and make the case for the Eagles? Every single thing that I pointed to, I had a counter for the Chiefs. Okay, so the Eagles have the more talented roster. Well, we're talking about back-to-back Super Bowl champs who have the better quarterback and the better head coach and the better defensive coordinator. Okay, Saquon's been running all over the NFL. The Chiefs haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher in any of their last 18 playoff games.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Compelling.
So as much as my heart is telling me, as a girl that loves revenge, I would love to see Saquon finish the job. As much as my heart is telling me go with the better team, talent-wise in the Eagles, my head is saying, baby girl, don't do it. Don't lose any more money or any more dignity until Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are beaten. You better pick them. So I'm going with the Chiefs to get the three-peat done.
Michelle Smallman, host of Unsportsmanlike, courtesy of Verizon. Head to houseofverizon.com, houseofverizon.com. Smalls, thank you. It was great.
So much fun. Thanks for having me.
AFR is brought to you by Duplessis Builders, DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net. If you are even thinking about building a swimming pool, you got to check out Duplessis Builders. There are a lot of pool builders that build beautiful pools. There are beautiful architects and designers. That is a fact. There's a lot of companies that build beautiful pools. But there's only one that offers you a 10-year workmanship warranty. 10 years on the work that they do. Why? Because Derek Duplessis and his team, they take the time to do it right. For example, after it is a scientific fact. It takes 2 weeks for concrete to cure perfectly. Like concrete don't cure faster when other people build a pool. So they don't move on to tiling and coping for 2 weeks after they spray the conite. So you want it done right, you want Duplessis. DuplessisBuilders.net.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans, presented by L'Auberge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
One thing I've definitely got right is my Evermore. I fixed that problem from the first couple days. Took me a couple days to get it right, but drink Evermore, EVAMOR, evermore.com, evermore.com. I love it. I got a tweet from a listener just yesterday. Sent me a picture of Evermore, a pallet of Evermore in his pantry, and he said, Scone, ever since you first told me about this, shout out, his name is Sean Dixon. Sean Dixon said, Scone, tried it on your suggestion, been 6 months now. I'm never buying anything else. Drink Evermore, a better form of hydration, evermore.com. It is After Further Review presented by Decision Critical. Do things a little out of order right now, but let's do it. Let's get out of locks. Hit it, Muse.
Out of locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter was good.
What's happening, man? And a couple of profitable nights in a row. 2-1 and a 3-0, and let me get this right. A 2-1-1 and a 3-0-1, huh? Not bad.
Not bad
last night.
You're on a roll, Otter. We got to keep it going, man. I'm only hearing Jimmy out of one. I'm only hearing Jimmy out of 1 ear. I don't know. Is he good? Is the audio good? Okay. All right. We're good. All right, Otter. Let's. Sorry to interrupt. I was only hearing you out of 1 ear, so I just wanted to make sure that everybody could hear. So
that's all right. My ex-wife would tell me that all the time. So anyway, she actually still tells me that. So anyway.
She's right. All right, fire away. What we got?
Let's go to Maryland, Ohio State. Thin schedule again on these Thursdays. So I'm going to give you a couple of Super Bowl props after this. But Maryland, Ohio State, man. Willard's got his team playing really, really good basketball right now. We're just going to ride this train, man. They're one of the hottest teams. We had Creighton last night. They covered their 10th straight last night, 10 in a row, ATS for the Creighton Blue Jays out of Omaha. So, but Maryland at Ohio State. Ohio State's improved a little bit. But still, they played at Champaign on Sunday afternoon and lost the first half lead. They're just okay, but Maryland is a team to kind of look out right now. Top 20 NET, top 20 Ken Palm. 1.5 on the road here. Going with the Turtles at 6:00 on FS1.
All right, Maryland plus 1.5 is our first play. What else we on?
All right, so Super Bowl props. I'm going to give you a couple here. First of all, my favorite Super Bowl prop is Xavier Worthy under receiving yards. It's at 57.5. This thing opened up about 47.5, 48.5. But at 57.5, he had 1 yard receiving in the conference championship game to the Buffalo Bills. Cornerback went down with an injury, and he had been really trending down. He does not average close to this. He went over his prop in the AFC championship game. So he's getting bet again. I like Xavier Worthy under 57.5 receiving yards.
Okay.
And then A.J. Brown to have the longest reception of the game. So you know that Spags is going to bring some pressure at some point on Jalen Hurts, and Hurts loves to throw the ball up in single coverage to A.J. Brown. That's his guy when they do get single coverage, when they do get the blitz. They blitz in that play in that 4th and 4 in the NFC Championship game. He hit him down the left sideline for about 35 yards. He is the favorite, but you get him plus money, plus good money. It varies from plus 200, plus 180, plus 1, all over the place. But A.J. Brown to have the longest reception of the game.
Okay.
For the Eagles.
All right, Worthy under receiving yards. A.J. Brown, longest reception of the game. Any others?
And one more for you, and that is Saquon's been bet off. Our guys starting to come, including Randy McKay, with his longest run under 25.5 yards. So Saquon Barkley's longest run of the game under 25.5 yards.
Well, we had we were talking with Tyler Fulghum from ESPN Bet Live earlier today, and one of his was Saquon's longest run over 25.5 yards. So we got a little disagreement there.
That's it. Well, you know what? I'd like to put him up against Randy McKay, and he can bring as much money as he wants.
Fair enough. Man, we got anything else?
That's it. We'll have more on the show tomorrow.
Cool.
So we'll be prop heavy, and of course on Football Sunday as well. So
perfect. Tomorrow from Rufino's.
11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So, and a lot of people did cast. A house got killed on Hanny under a half a fish to catch in Cabo. So. Hey, but I think I've heard a time or 1,000, the seas were really high.
Oh, the sea. Oh, man. They were running, weren't they? Oh, God.
Yes.
All right. All right, so live at lunch tomorrow, 11 to 1, Handy and Not from Rufino's. Check out the fellas. Again, Maryland plus 1.5, and then those 3 Super Bowl props and much more tomorrow. Thank you, Otter.
All right, good luck.
All right, have a great night. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Supper Club, supperclubbtr.com. Y'all, Supper Club is truly a one of one, not just in Baton Rouge, not just in Louisiana, but in the United States. I mean, when I tell you about like the herb beef steak that they sell, there's 3 restaurants in the United States of America that have that cut of meat. 3. 2 of them are in New York, and then Supper Club on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge. Point is, you want to go to Supper Club, you want to go somewhere where you can try something you've literally never had anywhere else, you could do it at Supper Club. You want to spend $5,000 on a bottle of wine, you could do it at Supper Club. You want $450 ounces of rare cognac, you could do it at Supper Club. Or you want to go have a fine dining experience, spend the same you would anywhere else, you could do that at Supper Club as well. But the ambiance and the opportunity to have an experience unmatched at Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com. Okay, y'all, it is After Further Review. Been a really busy day. If you missed anything, I'll remind you, catch all of our audio on demand. However you get podcasts or on YouTube, you can just search AFR LSU for the LSU content, AFR Saints for the Saints content, or if you want the full show, search After Further Review, and you'll get it all there. Of course, tons of content across all of our social medias. Rivers, Alondra, everybody's done a great job getting all of our content here for social media. So just go search any of our 104.5 ESPN social media channels, and you get all of it there. Well, now I got a final break of the show and put a button on day 4 from Media Row next here on AFR.
After Further Review.
All right, y'all, we're counting down to Super Bowl 59, and the best place to go to make sure you got all your snacks, your chips, your dips, your beers, your waters, your whatever you're going to have, your king cakes. You know it already. It's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. It's Rouse's.com. That's the website you can go to. You can download the Rouse's app. Hey, maybe you want to save some time. Easy. Of course, they have delivery options for your groceries, or they got curbside pickup. So go to the Rouse's app, pick out all your items for your Super Bowl party, pull up into one of the designated spots. Your personal shopper will bring your items out to you. It's Rouse's. Go to Rouse's.com. Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. And remember, it's not too late. Not too late. You want to ship a little taste of Carnival anywhere in the country, you could do it in the lower 48. Go to Rouse's.com. They'll ship one of those delicious cinnamon or whatever your favorite filling is, flavored king cakes anywhere in the lower 48. Rouse's.com. It's Rouse's. This feels like home.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends March 5th, 2025.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. Live from Super Bowl 59 Radio Row in New Orleans, presented by Low Barrage Casino Hotel Baton Rouge.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on this Thursday edition of AFR, presented by Decision Critical. Again, as always, big shout out to Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Always encourage you, start at their website, decisioncriticalbr.com. Go to the website, set up that exploratory phone call with them to go over your options. If you need in-home nursing care or wherever it may be, at the hospital with you, you want Decision Critical. They're the best nurses. They can do IV hydration therapy. Flu's going around everywhere. Call them. They'll come to you, your home, your office, get you that IV, get you feeling great. B12 shots in clinic on Wednesdays only. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com. We're putting a button here. We got a quick segment here to wrap up the show. But, man, what a day. My goodness, started today with Kevin Minter on site with us here. Won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. We talked a lot about that. Clay Travis was here. Was awesome to spend that time with us. Tyler Fulghum from ESPN Bet Live hung out. We had Jayson Werth, World Series champion, with us here. Patrick Peterson, Michelle Smallman. What a day. And if you missed anything, catch it all on demand. We'll be back for our final day from Media Row tomorrow, and very much looking forward to our final day here. We'll have our full Super Bowl previews and predictions and the final word and all that good stuff, and everything else that may come our way here from Media Row. It's been a great experience. We sincerely hope that that you've enjoyed all of it. So a big shout out to Bo and to Cade for running stuff. Rivers as well. Alondra's done an awesome job. Musso, Paul back in studio. All of our other staff. I mean, I know I started naming, but Jordan and Beck and Cassie and Paul and Taylor, and I feel like I'm naming everybody. I'm going to forget people. But our staff, Jesse, has done an awesome job. So big shout out to all of our staff that's worked so hard to make this possible this week. So we got one more day to go. We'll look forward to seeing you then for a Friday edition of AFR.
After further review.
All right, as we get on down the road, let me remind you about our friends over at South Point Volkswagen and southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. southpointvw.com. Hey, remember, when you shop at South Point Volkswagen, you're checking so many boxes. Great-looking vehicle, check. Volkswagens are awesome. Great German engineering, check. Also, safety features, highest safety designation you can get by the IIHS, check. Get all that. Great pricing, check. South Point's Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, so you'll always get a great deal at South Point Volkswagen. And manufactured right here in the US of A at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant. It checks every single box. If you've never driven a Volkswagen, put Volkswagen on your list, shop them online at southpointvw.com, and then go test drive one today. It's South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction?
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.